can run the 40 faster than Tom Brady. He got a perfect score on the Wonderlic. They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Yeah, we are. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff on this Thursday. It's hard to believe, Perloff, but we haven't even reached rock bottom yet with the Denver Broncos. Like, it's going to keep getting worse and worse. They play tonight against the Kansas City Chiefs. They've lost 15 straight games to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are major underdogs tonight in Kansas City. As embarrassing as this has been for Sean Payton and to a certain extent Russell Wilson, although his numbers are pretty good, this is going to be, it's going to get even worse before it gets better for Denver, and tonight is going to be another step down the ladder.
Ooh, well, here's the thing. They played them really, really close twice last year. Russ had huge games. They were behind, and they came back and made them both into games, which was unusual. The Broncos were terrible last year. If this is a close game, all they have to do is keep it close. We're going to say, okay, there's hope there with Denver. I feel like that is. I feel like Denver.
Moral victory.
I feel like Denver could come away with either a win or a moral victory tonight, as long as they don't lose 70-20. We've lowered the bar for Sean Payton and the Broncos so badly. I don't think
they don't lose by 50.
So they've kept the last
linings.
3 games within a touchdown against the Chiefs. I think people are going to be surprised. Everyone's going, "Oh, Denver's not that bad." They're going to lose by 6, and everyone's going to be like, "Denver's not that bad." Which is so funny because that's where we are with Sean Payton. This is all of a sudden gone to, like, everyone knows this is one of the bad teams in the NFL.
I mean, I guess the question now I disagree with you. I actually think they're going to lose. Like, I think that what you're seeing from this team is not just that the roster is bad, but they just seem like they're demoralized. Like, there's all this stuff in the ether about, guys being sold off and what's going to happen before the trade deadline. They already moved Randy Gregory. Maybe that's addition by subtraction. He's never been known to be like this solid locker room guy. But I think that this is not like a feisty, really, team.
No.
I don't see that grit. I don't see a team that's like, you know what, we're just going to really hold this thing together. Like, the Jets could have handed them that game a million different ways, and they couldn't even take it last week. I think this is an embarrassing night tonight for the Broncos. And then the question becomes, like, just sell the thing off. Sell it for parts. Like, at this point, the season, like, no one's reputation is going to get patched up this season. If Sean Payton is really going to be a thing in Denver, and whether that's with Russell Wilson or not, that's not a this year thing. That's a regroup in the offseason thing.
Sean Payton got a lemon. He got a bad product. He got an apple that was rotten to the core, and it's 100% the players. I'm sorry. I've decided it's 0 on Sean Payton. 0.0. Because if you're going to blame Sean Payton, you have to blame the last 5 coaches. They've had the same exact problem. Complete lack of effort from their wide receivers. Again, unbelievable. Now your defense has completely stopped trying. I think the Broncos defense actually puts a little effort in tonight because everyone's watching. I mean, you saw the end of the Jets game. They just were like, nah, we don't want to tackle. We're fine. So I think actually they do try hard tonight, which has been the problem. You always blame the coach for that. But, I mean, this is the 5th coach in 5 years or something crazy, and same exact problems. So at a certain point, they just put together a bad roster of bad character players.
No, I think that as much as Sean Payton could be the future in Denver, he's got to wear this for how bad the team and how lifeless they've looked at times, because he's the head coach. I know he's on the offensive side of the ball, but he's still the head coach, which means he's responsible for everyone. He's getting paid a king's ransom. They all, not just money, they also traded draft picks to get him, including a first rounder. They are so invested in Payton specifically to change the culture, not just the X's and O's. He came in, he started talking tough. He's calling out other coaches like Nathaniel Hackett. And this whole season has been one big karmic disaster for him. It's like everything's coming back and blowing up right in his face. I think that Sean Payton has to wear this. Whether he does full, like, in the future, I don't think they're going to move on from him. But this year is a big blow for him.
They have to get rid of everybody and start over. And you can find Sean Payton can wear it all he wants. It doesn't matter. The same problem is here. You have players who just do not try at football.
Yeah,
and no coach is going to get through to them. So get rid of them. They got to fire everybody. They got to get rid of Judy, number 1 priority. They got to cut everybody on the defense except Patrick Surtain. Start with 10 new players. And they need to find...
It's like a Deion Sanders situation. You just need to overhaul the entire roster.
You need to bring in
70 transfers.
You definitely need a new training staff because you've been the most injured team in the league 2 years in a row. You need somehow a miracle for Tim Patrick to help. You just need everybody. You need all new players. I'm sorry, Sean Payton's going nowhere with this group. I think the real important question here is, do you need Russell Wilson? That's the only real problem is this Russell Wilson contract. If he didn't have this massive salary cap hit, you could just start all over next year, build the Saints 2.0. Just get rid of all these guys who've been losing now every year since they were in the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning.
Okay, but I think that's another thing that falls on Sean Payton. If he's going to have his hand in roster building, he already coached a team where a quarterback was highly paid every year, and Drew Brees was always one of the highest paid, and he was still able to get a lot from the roster. And so it's like, of course, it's like, this is why we all thought Sean Payton was a match made in heaven for Denver. It's like, shorter quarterbacks, check, we can make that work. A quarterback that's highly paid, maybe have a bit of an ego, check, got that high, and we have that. A guy who maybe, should understand that the defense actually is important, because that was the one year they were actually able to win the Super Bowls when the defense in New Orleans, where the defense was really represented. Like, all these things, these boxes, it's made such good sense on paper, but it's not working out now.
Wait, if it did you pick the Broncos to make the playoffs?
Well, the only reason why I didn't is because the rest of the AFC was I thought was really good. And the other thing...
That sounded like a yes-no question, and I'm not hearing yes or no.
Okay. I did not pick the Broncos to make the playoffs, but I also didn't pick the Chargers to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So there's other teams I thought that could be good and have good offenses that didn't make the playoffs.
What are you, a corporate executive on 60 Minutes? Why was that so hard to answer?
Did you pick them to make the playoffs?
No, of course not.
Well, here's the other thing, too. How many games did they win last year? 6?
5.
5, okay.
He took over a 5-win team. And guess what? He has 5-win players all over that roster.
Okay, he was there when they went through free agency and spent boatloads of money. He was in the building for that, presumably signed off on everybody, so he has to wear it. It's not like he just parachuted in before week 1 and now coaches this team where he didn't pick the groceries and has to cook the meal, as Parcells used to say. But here's why, the other reason why I didn't pick them to make the playoffs. So you're a 5-win team last year. It's rare to go from like 5 wins to 9 wins. Like, usually you need a little bit of a stepping stone. And the Broncos are going backwards. If they won 5 games this year, that'd be a minor miracle considering how they're playing right now.
Okay, that might be true. That's fair, but the truth is he has to start over. You're going to see it tonight. Watch the defensive backfield when a guy catches a ball, an 8-yard pass. Just watch how bad they are taking angles to tackle. There's nothing any coach in America can do about this. They had really good coaches that have been through that building in the last 6 years or whatever since Peyton Manning, and none of them have been able to fix this. Honestly, if you're going to blame somebody, look at that GM.
Yeah, but we don't know this guy. George Payton, he's kind of a faceless, sort of dude. Not faceless. He's got a good reputation in the league, obviously, but fans don't know to point the finger at him.
But it's his team more than Sean Payton's team. I think Sean Payton deserves a pass. The other thing, too, you say that this is going to be a blowout. Do we know that Kansas City is Kansas City? I mean, they do not look like that Chiefs offense I've seen the last few years under Mahomes.
Looks like Travis Kelce is going to play. Now, I would ask you, do you need Travis Kelce to beat the Broncos?
Honestly,
I don't know.
I'm not sure your offense is even better than the Broncos. Yeah, I think they have the same exact numbers. Kansas City's very mortal this year. I mean, if they look good on offense at any given game, maybe getting rid of all those receivers is finally catching up to them a little bit. To me, there's 2 great narratives tonight. If Kansas City does not blow them out, everyone's going to say, oh my God, Kansas City's so pedestrian on offense. And also, if Denver gets close, I think that we're going to fool ourselves into thinking, okay, Sean Payton's getting somewhere. But you think it's going to be a blowout. So it's going to be more Barry, Sean Payton.
I don't think the Broncos want that smoke. Can we listen to Sean Payton, please, Pete? Talking about the Broncos, they have fielded calls from other teams in the league about their roster.
George and I talk every day, 3-4 times a day. We're not looking to do business with any of our players. That doesn't prevent teams from calling at times, and so, you pick the phone up, but that's kind of where it's at.
I mean, why wouldn't they? You traded Von Miller 2 years ago. You traded Bradley Chubb last year. Why wouldn't people think that your roster is available for the picking, whatever you want? I mean, I'd be calling about Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, the reports are that he's the one guy who's untouchable.
Yeah, shocker. Also, I love it when they say, we're just picking up the phone. It's like, translation, we've called every team in the league twice.
Definitely.
They're calling us, like, wink, wink.
What would you get for Jerry Jeudy, a 6th-round pick?
Not much.
Would you do that if you were the Broncos? I definitely would.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting Randy Gregory, they had to attach a 7th-round pick to Gregory to get a 6th-round pick back. Like, we're not talking about massive trade assets here unless it's Surtain, who might get a 1st-round pick.
You know how I feel about these guys, too. I don't feel like that's a tank move either. To get rid of a Jerry Jeudy, I think you might secretly win a game or two and hurt your draft chance. I think it's addition by subtraction. Just like the Sixers trying to get rid of James Harden. I don't think you're not tanking by trading these guys because they're not doing anything.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Is it Sean Payton? Does he have to wear this, that the team is not just bad, but looks disinterested at times? I love this in the chat. Of course, we say good morning to all of our incredible CBS Sports Radio affiliates who we appreciate. If you want to watch the show, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Spencer is in the chat, said Peyton's bank account has been impregnated with Walmart money. It's just, I love this. This is our directive after hearing from Deion Sanders yesterday where he said that God impregnates him with motivational things to say to his team. I think we need to start using impregnate in a more daily, kind of casual way.
I don't know.
Who's with me?
I remember I was watching MTV once and Old Dirty Bastard from Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
He used that word liberally and not appropriately for teenagers. Yeah. I feel like
and
you
may
get
he rest in peace.
You could get a lot of trouble for that word. Also, use it in the wrong way, and I think we might have an FCC fine.
It's like ODB and also Tracy Morgan used to use that word.
Tracy Morgan was amazing with it.
Okay. Other things going on here today beyond the Broncos and Chiefs. Got a package here. Again, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio if you want to watch the show. I don't know where Oak Ridge, Oregon is. Tom, can we Google map that quickly?
Of course we can.
Thank you. I got a package here, Perloff. It's addressed to me, Miss Maggie Gray. Thank you very much. This does not look like it has come from a PR person. This doesn't look like, sometimes we get sent books and stuff for people who want to appear on the show, and we get promotional materials. We get free T-shirts every now and then. It's a perk of the job. This doesn't look like that. This looks like it came from a person, right? This looks like it came from someone.
Yep.
This is specific.
The shipping was $23
I know.
too.
Can you believe that?
I feel bad
Expensive.
for whoever sent this.
Now, they don't put their name on it, and they sent it from a P.O. box. This person does not want to be traced. What could possibly be in this box? We're going to open it on the air. Can someone help me?
You're going to open it on the air.
Thanks.
I'm going to be on the other side of the glass.
Do I need a hazmat suit? Do you have the ponchos from when you put your face in the bowl of chili? What would you say the dimensions of this are? It's
I don't know, 2 by 2?
Sure.
No, 1 foot by 1 foot.
2 by 2.
1 foot by 1.5 feet by 1 foot.
It's kind of a little smaller than a shoebox. Like a kid's pair of shoes could be in here. That'd be weird.
That would be weird.
It's also kind of busting at the seams a little bit.
That's what's making me pretty nervous here. I think you should go about this very cautiously and slowly, piece by piece.
It's not meowing, right?
It's not meowing.
It's not a Jell-O mold.
Yeah, it's not a Jell-O mold. Ugh.
It's
Grace, she died 30 years ago. It's definitely bursting at the seams. It's definitely wrapped in paper, and it's definitely from Oak Ridge, Oregon. Where is that?
45 minutes outside of Eugene, I would say southwest Oregon.
Beautiful country. Love it. Love going to Eugene. Big game this weekend in Washington, though.
I see it's closer to Corvallis, so it feels like Oregon State country. So maybe somebody who does not like your Ducks, Maggie.
Oh, boy.
Could be a Beaver fan.
I am on the Ducks bandwagon this year. Meanwhile, we'll get to that later on in the show. Oregon, Washington this weekend, one of the massive college football games. But we started off with the Broncos and Chiefs tonight. I think the Broncos get blown out. We have not seen rock bottom yet for this team. 855-212-4CBS. More Maggie and Perloff in just moments. Don't move. CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
We're back here on Maggie and Perloff. I don't know how I got boxed into picking the Broncos tonight. What happened there in that first segment? I lost control of the narrative. I'm not betting on the Denver Broncos. But let me tell you real quick before we move on. Last season, the Broncos lost 51-14 to the Rams. Remember that? Then they came back and...
Is that the Baker Mayfield Rams?
That was the Baker Mayfield Rams, yes. So they looked like the worst team in the league. Then they came back and gave the Chiefs all they could handle, 27-24. Earlier in the season, they had just scored 9 points against the Ravens. Then their offense lit up the following week against Kansas City. I think the lack of effort is the biggest problem in Denver. If you can't try on national TV against the defending champions, then there's something wrong for you. I think we see a different Broncos team tonight, and they only lose by 8.
Does Sean Payton try an onside kick at some point that you would not expect?
They're gonna everything they have in the kitchen sink is gonna be thrown at the Chiefs tonight. This is their Super Bowl, Maggie. So,
that's sad.
Yeah, I think a 6-point loss is in the books, and we're gonna say, hey, that's Sean Payton. He's got those Broncos playing some spicy football. No, it's gonna be bad. But what do I care about Thursday night football? I got more important things going on, Maggie, and you know it.
You're all decked out in your Phillies crap, and you're excited. No, listen, great win for the Phillies last night. I mean, as much as I hate to give him any kind of credit, Bryce Harper is a fantastic postseason player, especially against the Braves.
Wait. It was that a dig?
What?
Fantastic postseason player. He's a 2-time regular season MVP.
That too. Okay. Yeah, he's great. He's awesome.
Oh,
he's a high school phenom that has exceeded the expectations. He's a poor man's LeBron. Like, good for him.
Actually, I'll take that. Poor man's LeBron. That's not too bad.
Hyped to cover Sports Illustrated as a high school player.
Yeah, he hasn't won a title like LeBron. But yeah, Bryce Harper is fantastic. I also think that you're sort of shortchanging all the other fantastic Phillies.
Okay, great.
Castellanos.
Sure. Castellanos, who you hated until like a week ago.
Me too. I could stand Trey Turner until the season turned around. Now he's my single favorite player on the team. He's like Chase Utley 2.0.
You railed against the Trey Turner signing. He's like, what are you seeing? His OPS sucks. I mean, you were getting in the weeds. You're like, Bill James, like sifting through the Trey Turner numbers.
You hate the Phillies, right?
I do.
But you cannot possibly hate Kyle Schwarber. Anybody who is a sports fan.
Don't hate Kyle Schwarber. He destroys the Mets. I have a lot of reasons not to like Kyle Schwarber. This is all baseball. This is sports hate. I don't actually care
but Kyle Schwarber is an actual softball player. You can see him at the local park who's in Major League Baseball. Nobody should hate Kyle Schwarber. He is the everyman athlete.
We got a couple of those this postseason, though. It's not just on the Phillies. Like, imagine if an alien landed from outer space and they're like, show us your elite athletes. You're like, here's Lance Lynn. That doesn't make any sense. They'd be like, how is this guy? Meanwhile, Dave Roberts, wake up. Pull the guy, gives up 4 home runs in 1 inning. The Dodgers lose the series last night. Arizona sweeps them 3-0. Dave Roberts, does the guy have to give up 4 home runs in 1 inning? It set a record.
You're not going to come after Dave Roberts now.
I mean, how could you not?
Why is Dave Roberts untouchable? Is it
because
he's a
great guy?
But they win a bunch of regular season games every year? Like, I don't understand. They have 1 World Series title with all that talent year in and year out.
That was a pandemic title, too. So, asterisks.
He's just a good dude. Also, too, I mean, the stolen base with the Red Sox. And there's a lot going for Dave Roberts. I do not blame him. I don't know why.
I don't know what he was watching there. There was a home run last night, and Bogusch is here for headlines, so he's got more details, I'm sure, about this. A home run last night that Lance Lynn gives up. This is all in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And it was just by a shade. It actually went foul. They had a chance to redo this again for Ketel Marte, and what does he do? A couple pitches later, hits another home run. Pull this guy. I just didn't understand it. Am I alone here? All right.
WFA and Maggie in the house.
Screaming at the Dodgers.
That's New York Sports Radio. Right. You got to pull this pitcher.
I'm sorry. It's 6:30 in the morning, and I'm just ranting and raving Eastern time. And I'm ranting and raving about the Dodgers. I don't understand why you leave them in there to hang them out to dry like that.
Fire Dave Roberts.
I mean, start the hashtag.
It does feel like Dave Roberts is now in some trouble, but he used to come on almost every couple weeks for Dan Patrick's show. He's a solid dude. Does that count for anything in this world?
All these guys are pretty solid.
No.
Well, that's not true, actually. They're not all solid. But a lot of these coaches, the reason why they're coaches is because they're leaders. It's because people follow them. But you can't get swayed by that.
2023, a baseball manager. I mean, let's face it, they are totally irrelevant. They're between a little irrelevant and totally irrelevant. Yeah, I mean, they only make 5 moves a game. So anyway, you're right. Dave Roberts does seem to be something missing. I'm not. Just anyone who doesn't know me, I am full on a sabermetric. Like, the front office is determining who's winning these World Series and not the manager.
I'd be with you there. But I mean, does it take the front office and 15 Harvard grads to tell you that once you give up 1 barely home run to Ketel Marte, he's probably going to crush another 430-footer? I mean, I don't think I need to go to Yale for that one.
Well, whatever they're doing is not working.
Yes.
So is it either a change in the personnel or a change in the manager? What is the move?
They're going to sign Shohei Ohtani for a gajillion
But
dollars.
does that take care of the problem? Maybe it's a core issue. Maybe you have to break up the core a little bit.
Well, baseball's so random, though. Is there a formula? I mean, what team is it? I mean, that great Atlanta Braves team in the 90s won one. Yeah. And this Atlanta Braves team is by far the most talented team in baseball. They're down 2-1. Tell me what the consistent formula is to win World Series.
Pitching.
Is it?
And get hot and don't have any breaks.
How much did your Mets spend on pitching this offseason? Like, how do you guarantee that's going to...
But the Mets are stupid. And don't be stupid.
So how do you get
Well, and one of the guys they spent money on just pitched a team into the ALCS.
Yeah.
So it does...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not
for the Mets.
Yeah, not for the Mets.
But for a different team.
Yeah, I just don't think it's as easy as say, like, oh, we got to fire the manager. It's really hard to win in the postseason. As Billy Beane always said, it's a crapshoot once you get in the playoffs. And that's the way it is.
Yeah, but I just think that
Except
you
unless
got to
you're
do
the Astros.
everything now. And they've this year they're going to go back to last winter and say, we didn't go crazy in free agency. We try to refresh them inside. They've done all these different things. The one constant is not the main problem, but it's been a decade of the same thing, basically. Try somebody else. Maybe somebody else's voice is needed to make them be better now. Yeah, no, I'm not going to defend Dave Roberts after this, but I got to tell you, though, there's not a quick fix to win. Why do the Astros win? Or why is their pitching better?
Obviously.
No, I mean...
Big-time cheaters.
Buzzers.
Cheat.
Okay.
And I don't even believe the buzzer thing. I got all the other evidence that's been proven.
Garbage cans.
Yeah.
So they're still cheating?
I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, once you're a cheater, always a cheater, right? We still talk about it with Belichick and how long ago was Spygate.
Dusty's using that toothpick as a cheating device.
There's something in his cane.
Hiding in plain sight.
Radar. Yeah.
What baseball team isn't cheating, though? And the Dodgers need
Mets.
to start cheating. Yeah.
Clearly. Not cheating enough. Bogus has got some more headlines. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. So first, there were the 100-win Orioles. Now it's the 100-win Dodgers, done without making a peep in the division series. And as we just discussed, it is a habit for Dave Roberts' team.
There's some things with the format that, people can dissect or whatever, but the bottom line is that, the last 2 years, we've got outplayed in the postseason. And, it doesn't matter if it was a 7-game series. We lost the first 3 games.
The Padres got them in 4 last October. This time it's the Diamondbacks in a 3-game sweep, a 4-2 final last night in Arizona. As Maggie told you, all 4 of those runs, solo homers in the third, the first 4-homer inning in postseason history. So Arizona wins, which means we have at least another week of trying to figure out how to say Lavulo.
I'm going to go on a bender. I'm telling you. I might disappear for 24 hours. I know that. That's for sure. I might go underground for a little while.
The skipper and his...
I believe him.
Yeah.
Remember the last series? He was like, we're going to party our faces off and then we'll be ready for Monday. Like, he's going to be at a blackjack table somewhere, probably now.
Well, in Arizona, is he in the desert doing peyote? Is that is that what you do?
Rogers is there?
Yeah.
I have a question. If the Phillies do play the Diamondbacks, the team with more wins gets home field, right?
Correct.
There's no divisional thing.
No, game 1 is either in Atlanta or in your stadium on Monday night.
Okay.
Yes.
I scratch that from the podcast because I don't want to get too cocky. I feel like I just cost the Phillies a win.
Perloff will not tweet about the Phillies because tell them why.
Oh, last year after game 1, they beat the Astros, and I said I thought the Astros were supposed to be good, and things fell apart.
And of course, that was you.
So they're up 2-1 on the Braves. This is not over. You guys realize that, right?
Oh, it's definitely not over.
Me wearing this Phillies sweater right now is probably going to pressure the bullpen into blowing a game tonight.
Yeah. Well, congrats.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Way to support the
team. And by the way, I watched last night, Braves-Phillies. How come this Braves team is not killing the Phillies? Can you explain this to me?
I have no idea.
It doesn't make any sense, right?
They should be smoking them. But the Phillies are a hot team right now. I'm just more into what is Torey Lavulo, like how many drugs can he do in this amount of time? How old is he, by the way?
Who's Torey Lavulo again? What are we talking about? Is that the Diamondbacks manager?
NL champion Diamondbacks manager, yeah.
And he was a player, what can he do? When does this next series start?
That Monday night.
Monday night.
Yeah.
It's Thursday morning. You can do a lot of drugs between now and...
He's got a lot of time before he's going to be on a plane to someplace in the East. And he looks like a sturdy guy. Like he can drink or two.
Now I'm nervous about this guy if the Phillies do face him because it sounds like
he's got nothing to lose.
Mirror image of the Phillies. Him and Bryson Stott get together. It could be a huge party going on.
58 years old, by the way.
All right.
Listen, do you. If it's been working this far... Go for it, man. I want to party with him.
Don't change anything now. They're on. Talk about hot team. They're on a roll.
Yeah.
Were they like a 500 team this season? Aren't they like
87 wins? I think.
Aren't they the worst playoff team?
They were the 6th seed. Yeah.
Yeah. This sport is insane.
84 wins.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's got to be all the booze. Something is balancing out. I don't know. I'm sending a bad message to the children. I'm sorry, Bogush. Go ahead.
It's okay. It was a 10-2 Brave loss last night, so they are in a 2-1 hole. But there is some confidence in their manager, Brian Snitker, because he has Spencer Strider, and then if necessary, Max Fried lined up to pitch.
If we can't win one of those 2 games or both of those games with those guys, then you know what? I feel pretty good about the next 2 starts that we got.
But his team also needs to hit 2 runs in their 2 losses. The Las Vegas...
That's it? You're not going to play a home run?
The Las Vegas Aces.
You're talking about the Braves rotation. Your takeaway from a 10-2 Phillies win is the Braves rotation?
Finals, leading the best of 5, 2 games to none after a 104-76 knockdown of the Liberty. 26 points for Asia Wilson, 24 for Jackie Young, and 23 for Kelsey Plum. The NBA continues to stress the importance of an 82-game season to its players and teams. Head of basketball ops Joe Dumars said yesterday their new data says resting does not necessarily prevent future injury. The only negative the league sees is in player performance on the second night of a back-to-back. Dumars, though, did not share this anti-rest data, and not everybody believes that it truly exists.
Well, I do like that the bad boys are in the front office of the NBA. That this will take care of all the problems with sitting out and resting.
Joe Dumars going to go and lift someone up by the collar, shake him.
That's your ethical barometer is the bad boy Pistons.
That's right.
Yeah.
I get the 2004 Pistons in the mix too. Rashid should be the commissioner.
Just send Ben Wallace into a locker room as a guy who has to sit out.
Well, that guy probably actually didn't rest, but that's a great point.
Wait a minute. So
Bilotti.
people don't. So they did some kind of study, but they won't share the results, and it's just take my word for it. You should play.
As of yesterday, yeah.
That sounds like NFL injury data there.
Yeah, right. It's
mysterious injury data.
Yeah, it's no, the Thursday night game doesn't do anything. Meanwhile, half the league is a torn ACL.
Yeah, and by turf and grass.
Yeah.
Turf, grass, same amount of injuries. What is this data? Anyway.
No, just fly to a different continent for a couple of games, and then come on back.
Yeah.
I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
And the doofus Giants do the tush push without ever practicing it. 2 guys get hurt, and we'll check on this in the offseason. But last weekend they had Travis Kelce and Justin Jefferson in the same game. Almost destroy their legs by themselves
on that terrible turf.
Yeah.
No, I love it. That's wait a minute, the World Cup's coming. Let us get the good grass. It's not for our gajillion-dollar product.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Niners tight end George Kittle in a little bit of trouble. I missed this Monday morning, but he flashed a Bleep Dallas t-shirt during Sunday Night Football, and messages are not allowed on uniforms, curse words or not, so Kittle could get a $10,000 fine.
Boo.
No Fun League, NFL. That was the best story this entire week. We got a back and forth between the Cowboys and the 49ers, and Kittle's going to get fined. Give me a break.
Only thing is he blows his nose with $10,000. I mean, that's...
Yeah, that is a non-public.
But it's the spirit of it.
But now it's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
That's the fun part about this rivalry. The back and forth, the game was 42-10, but all the other stuff is what makes it fun.
So you want little D-Cell Jr. to watch a game and see curse words on a T-shirt and go, Daddy, what does that mean?
I'm not going to pretend like he's not going to see it somewhere else. It's fun.
Like Tom's living room. You know what you should do, Tom? That'd be a good Halloween costume. Your kid's what, 3, 4?
Almost 3, yeah.
Dress him up as Kittle with a Bleep Dallas shirt underneath.
I mean, it's fun. I don't want to hear about George Kittle getting fined.
I want it to be my costume now. Ring a doorbell, lady with a bucket of candy.
Bleep you, Bleep Dallas, give me candy.
Son, cursing is fun.
My issue is totally different. Why does Kittle care about Dallas when he got his butt kicked by the Rams and the Eagles in the last 2 playoffs? I feel focus on Dallas.
Does he have a Bleep Eagles?
That's a little loser energy to have a Bleep Dallas. You killed them the last, you own that team.
You want to bleep the Eagles, bleep Philly?
No, I think you have to win a Super Bowl before you start wearing these shirts. I'm sorry. Am I the old school here?
No, I actually think there's some merit to that.
Yeah, what are you doing? You should find him. Just be like, why is he wearing that T-shirt? You're the better team.
Imagine the NFL's here's a $10,000 fine because you're a loser.
I don't know. I love George Kittle is probably the most fun person in the entire NFL. He's awesome. But I didn't understand this T-shirt. Were you guys surprised at that?
Well, I mean, but it's about the rivalry. Like whether it's college or NFL, like it doesn't matter what's happened recently. Like the hate's always there. I might be winning 18 years in a row, but if we've been playing for 100 years and we're bitter rivals, I'm always going to hate you.
Wait, I think it was a send up to like a former 49er
Yes.
player
Oh,
who was
okay.
that?
Got it.
Gary Bolin or somebody. I can't remember.
A
Who it was.
linebacker from like one of the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does George Kittle care about that? He wasn't even alive for the 94 NFC title
though.
game.
It's
It's fun. It's hate. It's history.
Act like you've been there before, D-Cell.
I agree.
No, you can't. So
Yeah.
you can't wear that shirt every weekend and bleep whatever city you're in for that particular Sunday. But it's Cowboys Niners. You go for it.
You know what's even more sort of painful for Dallas fans? Losing 42-10. The T-shirt is irrelevant. Who was the guy on the Vikings who would wear the T-shirt? And then he went crazy. Everson Griffin, right? He would wear T-shirts or somebody. It's a lame thing to me. I don't like the T-shirts that are written on.
Well, I remember there was like a wide receiver for the Bills, Stevie Johnson, who used to wear a "Why So Serious" underneath. And
I remember
he got
that.
fined for that, of course. I remember the Jet. Jason Terry used to wear the opponent's shorts underneath his shorts. Remember that?
The NBA player?
Yeah.
Really?
He started in college. He started wearing the opponent's shorts under his shorts.
Ooh.
That seems unnecessary. Like a T-shirt, no big deal, but you're going double shorts in an NBA game?
Yeah, wait. Keep going, and I'm going to double check.
All
I
right.
didn't just lie to America there.
The NCAA handed out the dumbest punishment ever again yesterday. Kansas men's basketball must vacate its wins from the 17-18 campaign. So please forget the Jayhawks made the Final Four that spring. All of this because of recruiting violations connected to the 2017 federal probe into corruption in the sport. The team already suspended Bill Self for the first 4 games of last season and self-imposed some recruiting restrictions. And it was night 2 in the NHL. Connor Bedard scored his first career goal, but Chicago lost in Boston 3-1. Brock Besser had 4 goals in the Canucks' 8-1 rout of the Oilers, and Austin Matthews had 3, the first of which was the 300th of his career. His Leafs outlasted the Canadiens 6-5 in a shootout.
Can I apologize?
Yeah.
Everson Griffin, he had a T-shirt that he flashed during a game. It said, "I just had a baby boy. What should I name him?"
That's kind of cool.
We'll allow that one.
That was not trash talk.
Also, how could you can't poll the crowd. That's how you end up with Bodie McBoatface. Like, you can't ask people to name something for you.
It wasn't binding.
But that's a lot sweeter than a Bleep Dallas T-shirt.
Little bit.
By the way, so Bogus, just to be clear here, one of the most marketable players in MLB hits 2 home runs, and your sports update is about the Braves rotation with Spencer Strider and Max Fried.
Yes.
We got to get
Thanks
them
for
out
listening.
first.
Because anyone in America knows who Spencer Strider is.
They should. He's one of the best pitchers on the planet.
Should they?
Yeah.
Should they know? Like
Yes, they should know who
average casual
Spencer
fan-
Strider is. Yes.
Yeah. But do you think they know who Bryce Harper is?
They might. I'm assuming they do. I'm assuming they already know he had 2 home runs last night, so no need for me to mention it.
Well, we got to get the Braves out first, and then the Phillies go out next in the NLCS. So.
We're all Diamondbacks fans.
That's right.
Also, Jason Terry wears his opponent's shorts to bed the night before the game, not during the
All
game.
right, that makes more sense.
Apparently, his wife was like, "What?"
Please explain how that makes more sense.
Yeah. Like, what is the advantage there?
I mean, I'm not saying that it works, but in terms of like actual like efficiency, wearing regular 1 pair of shorts during an NBA game makes much more sense.
Oh, okay.
The quote
That's
from
all.
his wife was, "You still got the game shorts on." Really? According to New York Times.
So he'll like go to bed wearing, or used to, like Oklahoma City Thunder shorts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the guy's keeping Fanatics in business.
Yeah,
a lot of shorts.
Those are nice shorts.
I know. They're not cheap. Cool. Good. Done?
I'm done, yeah.
Very good. Very
No.
entertaining.
No.
All right. When have we
That was
decided
terrible.
we're going? Again, when are we going to open up the box?
When I leave.
Yeah.
Okay. And open up the box sounds funny.
Hour 5.
It's an actual package that I received from a P.O. box in Oak Ridge, Oregon. It's addressed to me in care of CBS Sports Radio right here in New York.
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
Oh, I think I know what it is.
Is this from one of our friends of the show?
Just proceed as normal.
Proceed as normal. I'm carrying it. This is not a PR. This is not from a PR person. This is not a book that someone's peddling. This is not a free T-shirt. This is from somebody who really wants to get in touch with us. It's
I
overstuffed box.
think I know what it is, or vaguely what it is.
Did you win a bet?
No. I think somebody called in and said, I'm going to send you something.
All right.
You probably don't remember. It was a few weeks ago.
Okay, my brain has been erasing this new time slot. I don't know.
Or, I mean, just still to
Thank
be
you.
safe, I'm going to be on the other side of the glass when you open it. But I think it's something fun.
Okay.
It looks the part of something dangerous.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. The only thing it's missing is like instead of writing your name to have cut out letters from magazines.
Yeah, like a
and
ransom
tape them.
note.
Yes.
Yeah, because we do have a handwriting sample.
Yeah, it's like, should I have like rubber gloves on?
Can you
while I'm
take a
opening
photo of that handwriting so we can show the FBI after this is all over?
Let me open it. I'll be in the lobby.
this? You know what? Interestingly enough, they actually got the address off by 1, but it still got here. There we go.
Ooh.
Now I'm even more nervous.
Yeah, someone's in the
Yeah.
building. Are there any interns here today? Isn't that what an intern is for, to open the suspicious mail?
Maybe die.
Get the college kids over here. We need them to open something.
I'm curious, who is the lowest man on the totem pole in this building?
Billy
Let's
Joe Malone.
find them.
You know what? I think before a couple weeks ago, it might have been you and me.
Yeah.
855-212-4CBS. Okay. There we go. A lot more to do, including the one person who needs a win the most this weekend. We'll get to that. We got a lot to do. Playing a game. I don't want to say we're playing a game called What's in the Box. I can't. We need a better terminology there. What's in the package?
That's better.
Still workshopping. 855-212-4CBS. We're going to open this up, about an hour or so? A little bit less than that. Clear a couple things with HR once they get in the building. 855-212-4CBS. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, you can stream the NFL on Westwood One for free, sponsored by AutoZone. All season long, you can listen to every Westwood One broadcast of the NFL live on the NFL app by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports or on the Odyssey app. Get in the zone, AutoZone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help you find a fix for free. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. I'm very unhappy right now.
Why?
Somehow I have to pull for the Denver Broncos tonight. The way
Listen, you're the one defending Sean Payton.
I don't think any of this is his fault. I think the players are rotten to the core. But I have this feeling that the problem has been lack of effort. How can you not try in a primetime game against the defending champion? I think you're going to see an all-out Denver Broncos assault tonight, and they find a way to lose by 6, and we're all coming tomorrow and be like, hey, you know what? The Broncos had a nice try.
Yeah, they kept it close. You got maybe a Hall of Fame. Well, you do have a Hall of Fame quarterback, maybe a future Hall of Fame coach. Way to keep it close against the defending champ.
But the other narrative, I don't know about that Kansas City offense, Maggie. I think that is a developing story. Are they explosive like they used to be? They don't even look explosive like your Bills.
I know, but you're the Andy Reid Kool-Aid drinker, and when if it's Reid, it's drinking a lot of it. But you love Andy Reid. You say that he can turn any offense into a great offense.
Yeah, but I do think they look at the way the season's going. Isaiah Pacheco might be their most consistent weapon. Maybe you become more of a slow it down, run the ball like Chris Jones win it with defense. Is that possible for Kansas City?
No. No, their receivers have to get open a little bit more.
That's the other thing. Who are their receivers?
Well, they're going to be open tonight because the Broncos secondary and
brutal.
And we're going to get more like mad Al Michaels tonight. If we don't have a game, it's going to be more, way to try on that.
Gosh, you were really setting this up as they kind of, for you to be right, they have to really blow them out of the water.
They've won 15 in a row.
Right, but the last 3 have been within a touchdown.
Good for them. Great.
I'm telling you.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, right?
The Broncos lost by 40 1 week and came back. They play this team tough. I know they don't win.
Yeah, this is participation trophies here.
And Sean Payton, 10-year contract. Give him at least 8. He's going to figure this out.
Great. I'll check back in 2030. So you could say the Broncos are in need of a win here. I'm not exactly sure how great wins are for them. They've got so many issues. Right now, they're projected to have the 2nd overall pick. That's kind of juicy for them. But it would be great for them to get a win just to get people off their backs a little bit, right? Just like have a little chance to breathe here on a mini bye. They're not the person this week, though, that needs a win the most. The person who needs a win the most out of anybody in the National Football League is without a doubt Mac Jones. I don't know if he's capable of doing it. I feel like this dude is staring down the end of his career. And you have Belichick going up against Josh McDaniels. I said this on Tuesday right after the Monday night game. I don't know how anybody loses to the Raiders. I don't know how anybody. Josh McDaniels does mind-bending decisions in game. Belichick's had a historic back-to-back, the 2 worst losses of his entire career in the NFL. There's no chance he can lose to McDaniels, though, right?
Well, I mean, last week was my pick for New England over New Orleans because I thought they were desperate last week. They were home last week. Yeah, I mean, first of all, they're underdogs. They can definitely lose this game. The problem with New England has been they've been pushed around all over the field.
Yeah.
And we saw in the primetime game with the Raiders, like, they're physical. Max Crosby's a machine.
Yep.
So I think that the Raiders' weapons are better because you have Devontae Adams. I don't know. I know Josh McDaniels has made some poor decisions.
That's
yikes.
kind.
I think this could be a really tough challenge. You're right, though. Mac Jones is looking at the end of his career.
It was like Justin Fields a couple weeks ago. It's
Yeah.
like, is this kid going to actually, young man, is this guy going to be able to save his career? I think Mac Jones is really up against it. He needs a win more than anyone, unless you can top that.
Okay, so I'm not sure about this one, but it feels like Minnesota, Chicago, both teams need a win. Chicago got some momentum by beating Washington. It feels like a guy who needs the heat off him is Kirk Cousins. Now, here's the question, though. If you own the team, if you're Ziggy and Mark Wilf, do you want to win?
Wait, does Kirk have the heat on him, though? I feel like Kirk is being, he might end up in a place that's better.
This is why, because he's starting to field questions about trades and press conferences, and that has to be a very uncomfortable position for the starting quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Everyone's asking him, are you going to waive your no-trade clause? Don't you think
we have that sound, actually. Do you want to hear
Yeah.
what Kirk Cousins said when he was asked about his no-trade?
I'm just very focused on the Bears and going 1-0 this week, and anything else is just not worth my time or energy or attention.
Yeah.
Isn't this a terrible situation for a starting quarterback to be asked if you're going to be traded? So I think if they win this game, all the heat will go off of them.
Oh, I don't know. I think that for the most part, I think most of America, probably outside of Minneapolis, has given up on this Viking season. And the thing is, they don't have a solution right now for next year. Like, unless you're going to extend Kirk Cousins for another year and do this whole thing again, you need like a more of a long-term solution at quarterback. Kirk Cousins is what, 35, 36 at this point?
Yeah, he is. He's a surprising 35. He feels younger. But here's the thing. This is their first NFC North game. So, and then they have the Bears in 2 weeks. All right. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. They have the Packers in 2 weeks who look really vulnerable. So they lost to the Chiefs. They played really tough against the Chiefs. I don't think the season's necessary. It's probably overish. The Lions are going to win that division.
Especially with Justin Jefferson going on IR.
Yeah, but they could battle back to 500 because the NFC North is not good. That's the only thing they got going.
Battle back to 500 and be a 500 football team.
Yeah, which is a big battle. They're 1-4 right now.
No, they put themselves in a really big hole. So, like, what do you do as a 500 football team? Is that really where you feel like you're setting yourself up for the best chance to get a good quarterback?
No, of course not. But you're not sitting up there uncomfortable in a press conference being like, this is a disaster. So I think it's similar to the Mac Jones one. Like, you just don't want that energy around your building.
Yeah.
Be like, questions, are you going to blow it up? Are you going to trade this guy? I think Danielle Hunter is the big issue. He's way more valuable than Kirk Cousins right now. I mean, how many contenders wouldn't want a killer pass rusher like that?
No, for sure. He would get a lot of looks on the open market. But here's the other thing. I think that Kirk Cousins has actually dealt with some awkward situations before. I mean, the whole RG3, Kirk Cousins on the same roster dynamic was awkward. Just playing for the Commanders
being
in general.
Washington is awkward.
You have to answer for Dan Snyder's like millions of terrible things that he's done.
It's been pretty steady in Minnesota, though.
That's true.
Steady Eddie. I mean, they haven't threatened to win the Super Bowl.
I mean, the dude's at Barnes & Noble every Tuesday, according to, if you guys watch Quarterback on Netflix, he's just like, spends his off days just browsing Barnes & Noble.
By the way, now that they're losing, people are giving him heat for taking Tuesdays off. What's your take on that?
Are you fond of that?
I don't mind him taking Tuesdays off.
I don't mind it that much
think
either.
That matters.
Yeah.
The guy's clearly all in. I don't think he's not like Torey Lovulo, who said he's going to be on a bender for the next couple days. Now the Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers.
Kirk's kind of like Russell Wilson. You look at he has 115 passer rating. His numbers are amazing this year. Does that mean anything? No.
Coming up, one college football coach, sour grapes. Does he have a point, though? We'll get to that next. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
What's in the fucking box? What's in the fucking box? What's in the fucking box? What's in the
He thinks Frisbee golf is the sport of the future. She's sticking with football. They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff on this Thursday. You got a little Broncos-Chiefs tonight. Poll question, is this all Sean Payton's fault? At Maggie and Pearl on Twitter. Just because the team is not only losing, they look lifeless. I think that does go on the head coach, and Perloff thinks that it's just the roster is rotten.
Yeah, I mean, how many head coaches in a row have had the same problem there? At a certain point, if history keeps repeating itself, it's not the coach, right? You think Bill Belichick could get this team to play well?
I'm not certain about anything about Belichick. If you had asked me this a couple months ago, I'd say yes. But now everything I think about Belichick has been thrown into a blender.
I do think the regret in Denver, and I've seen a little bit, is we should have hired D'Amico Ryans, who looks like the real deal. He's now in Houston, and I think they wanted to hire him. It's very confusing. There was a big mess with Harbaugh, Payton, and Ryans there. But I think the problem is the players. I think they should trade everybody. I think you'll see it tonight. Watch Jerry Jeudy run a route. And just tell me.
Perloff is specifically triggered by Jerry Jeudy.
Oh, they did a play against the Jets where it was a sweep or something, and they gave it to Jeudy, and he lost about 6 yards. The fact that he didn't get the line of scrimmage was unbelievable.
Wait a minute. Was that the double reverse that they ran the moment that
that was the Mims one.
Okay, yeah. That was the Mims one. I'm like, because that one was on Sean Payton, not to go back to do X's and O's from last week, but all of a sudden the Jets' 2 starting corners are out of the game, and they start running double reverses. Throw the ball downfield.
Well, I mean, the problem is not the offense. Obviously, they're in the top half of the league in offense. They're 32nd in every. They're 32nd in every single statistical category defensively. They're the worst defense, and they're trending towards the worst ever, which is not good.
That is hard to do. Let's flip over to college for a second, because Kentucky and Georgia do not play each other this week, but the coaches have gotten into a little bit of a back and forth. Let's start here with Mark Stoops, the head coach of the University of Kentucky, who is basically trying to implore his fan base to donate more, but takes a shot at Georgia.
Fans have that right. I give it to them. I just encourage them to donate more, because that's what those teams are doing. I can promise you, in Georgia, they bought some pretty good players. You're allowed to these days. And we could use some help. That's what they look like. You know what I mean? When you have 85 of them. So I encourage anybody that's disgruntled to pony up some more.
Okay. I mean, probably could have done that in an email. I don't know if you needed to the boosters, or if you needed to publicly air out your donor base like that. Like, hey, everyone, open up your wallets.
There's so much funny stuff. 85 sounds ridiculous, but then you look at Georgia's roster, the fact that they lose 12 first-round picks every year and have another 12 first-round picks, so probably are 85. I have so many issues with this. First of all, why it dawned on me, the fan bases are paying for all these players. Where does the money from that Dr. Pepper and Microsoft ad? That there's so many ads in a college football game. This whole thing, like, Kentucky fans are supposed to open their wallets so they compete with Georgia. Anyway, that's besides the point.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is like, this is Kentucky football we're talking about.
Right.
Like, who are they to compete with Georgia? Has Kentucky football ever even been in this picture?
Well, no. I mean, Kentucky football under Mark Stoops is like riding as high as it's ever been. Like, Kentucky football was like, oh, let's pass the time before basketball starts. I mean, and Stoops, to his credit, definitely has them competitive. But here's what I would ask. Like, I know that there's this idea that NIL evens the playing field.
Oh, big time.
Okay. But in this particular instance, whether it's someone who's thinking about going to Kentucky or going to Georgia, if you put the same amount of money in front of a kid and said, we're going to give you $50,000 to go to Georgia, we're going to give you $50,000 to go to Kentucky, what do you think that kid's picking? You would almost have to triple the amount that Kentucky would offer to try to keep that kid from Georgia. Like, I think it's
no, I don't think that's how it works.
Oh, I do.
Because here's the problem. If you go to Georgia and you're not playing, your marketing value goes down. So Kentucky can get the scraps. They can get them as juniors because they can't get on the field with Georgia. So that's why it evens the playing field.
See, I don't know. I still think that maybe getting a chance to win a national title as opposed to you go to Kentucky, you're going to be in a bowl game, which again, this is credit to Mark Stoops. He's done a lot with that program, but you don't have the profile of Georgia. Like, you're not going to be playing for a college football championship like you are if you go to Georgia now.
But what spreads it out, though, is those 5 stars used to sit at Georgia all the time.
Right.
And now It doesn't happen as much with Georgia. It's been happening more with Alabama. They leave. So you can't stack 5-star at 5-star, 5-star. That's where I think the evening out comes out. Not in the recruiting process, but in the transfer portal.
Okay, but I've asked you, are you seeing that they're actually getting the same guys as Georgia, even if they're offering the same money? I don't think they are.
Well, maybe not the first go-round, but I don't know. At Georgia, like, why would you go? If you offered me $50,000 to be the starting linebacker at Kentucky or to be the third string at Georgia, maybe that's a reason to go to Kentucky.
Well, if you believe in yourself and you feel like, all right, I'll start as third string, but maybe I will get on the field and I'm going to, be part of this pipeline from Georgia to the NFL.
Listen, now those guys are all, obviously Georgia and Alabama, they're all leaving. What do you think Deion's all about? He's picking these guys off who are not getting the playing time they want or just don't like the system or something. So, I mean, you can't argue that the sport is more even now. There's got to be 15 teams that are still alive for the national title.
Okay, that's fine. But if you're talking about the difference between Kentucky and Georgia, I think you're talking about the difference between Georgia, Alabama, Kentucky to me, I'm not disrespecting them. I'm giving them a lot of props for what they've done with the program, but it's still a second tier SEC team who's hoping to, beat the Mizzous and the Vandies and those teams.
It's just amazing. We're talking about Kentucky football in October.
I know they've beaten Florida the last couple years.
They just killed Florida.
I know. And they've done it the last couple years in a row. But I would ask you this also about Mark Stoops. Like, do you think that the Kentucky booster, do they feel like they can get to the next level? If I just give $10,000 more or $20,000 more, is that really putting me on the same playing field as Georgia, LSU, and Alabama? They might just be sort of maxed out.
Well, that could definitely be true, but I don't think that the Kentucky booster ever thought, hey, we'd be a top 25 team.
Fair.
So, and also they obviously, I think everyone agrees Mark Stoops is a good coach. And,
he is.
And everyone knows Liam Cohen can design a run game.
Yep.
It didn't work against Georgia, but I think there's a lot of excitement about that program. Here's the thing. Deion is a perfect example. You can pick up guys from other schools. Who is Colorado? I hate to say Colorado is obviously a little unique because it's Deion, but is it really that unique? That's where we're headed.
Okay.
Transfer portal, transfer portal, transfer portal.
Okay, but think about it. You can't, for as good as a coach as Mark Stoops is, he's not on the same level as Deion Sanders in terms of recognition, fame. Like, Deion's got another thing that's pulling kids to Colorado that I think is not just the money. It's the amount of attention that you get when you go there and playing for a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but look at the top 10. It's nothing but transfer quarterbacks. So, okay, Deion is getting these guys, but we have the big Washington-Oregon game.
Yep.
We have two very much transfer quarterbacks who had full careers at other. You look at Oklahoma, Texas, you got to have a transfer quarterback. So I do think, and Kentucky has a transfer quarterback. I think there's much more parity, and I think it's all because of NIL, because guys want to get on the field. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah, obviously, if I'm a superstar, I'm going to Georgia, but I do think a lot of guys want to play and get that marketing money.
Tom, you wanted to weigh in on this.
I just don't think we want this NIL. We want it to level the playing field, but the reality is it doesn't. It still doesn't. Georgia's at the top. Alabama's at the top. The cream of the crop is still what it was.
TCU was in the
legal.
final game last year.
And look at them now. They fell off immediately.
Yeah, but you're going to have these one-year runs, and you might have a couple this year. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. 10 years ago, it was always the same four teams. Every year, it was Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and maybe Georgia, right? Now at least there's a thought that someone new is going to get in there.
But those teams you just mentioned, look where they are right now.
Still
They're
at the top.
still right there.
They haven't gone anywhere. Meanwhile, you might get the one-offs with the TCUs. I think you're going to see it more like what we had in the NCAA men's tournament, the Final Four. That's where you're going to get a lot. FAU and random.
You don't think a Big 12 team? I think you could have a Pac-12 team and a Big 12 team in the Final Four this year. There's been 2 Pac-12 teams ever in the Final Four. That's way different. I mean, don't you think Washington or Oregon's going to make it, whoever wins this game?
I do. I think that's setting up for it. The only thing is I think this could be a function of that COVID year is still like in the ether here, where guys are 25 years old playing quarterback. As you said, both of these quarterbacks that we're going to watch had like full careers other places.
I don't know. I feel like it's a whole new sport. I think there's so much more parity. It's a combo of NIL and the transfer protocol.
Yeah.
Transfer protocol. Did I call it the protocol?
Yeah, whatever. The portal.
Yeah, that thing.
Kirby Smart did respond, by the way. Georgia head coach was asked about Mark Stoops' NIL comments.
No reaction. Just, much to do about nothing, really. I mean, I think Mark's trying to garner interest in money from his fan base for his collective, and we're all trying to do the same in terms of trying to get money for our collective. I think Mark and I talked about NIL pregame, and we talk about it in our meetings. So I'm not biting on that.
It's funny that just a year ago, it was fighting words for one coach to say about another program that they buy their players. Remember, this was Saban called out Jimbo Fisher, and it led to this whole thing that lasted like 72 hours. It was pretty glorious. Now, one coach says one team buys their players. The other coach is like, yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're not even pretending anymore.
One coach is a 2-time defending champion. The other is Jimbo Fisher. Not surprising. That was such a flex right there by Kirby Smart. Being like, say whatever you want. I don't care.
Do not care. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. You do have Missouri traveling to Kentucky, Georgia taking on Vandy.
I'm into Missouri, by the way. I might jump on that bandwagon.
I could see that for you.
Yeah. Eli Drakowitz, let's go.
Coming up, can Notre Dame's defense stop USC's Caleb Williams? We'll get the answer to that. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff continues. This show is sponsored in part by BetterHelp. Do you ever feel like your brain is getting in the way, Perloff? Like you know what you should do, what's good for you, but you just can't do it. Therapy helps you figure out what's holding you back so you can work for yourself instead of against yourself. Sometimes it's just a matter of talking things out so you can get a better understanding of what may be standing in your way, even if it's you.
We've all been through some unpredictable times over the past few years, and it's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. If you're starting to think about therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/MNP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/MNP.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Okay, Deion playing on Friday and Colorado Sanford. That's screwing up my whole weekend plans here. I never.
Why? You got a big Friday night plan?
Well, I don't pencil college football into Friday night. That's like my one pass because the weekend is you're on your couch for basically 24 out of 36 hours. So I don't even know. I couldn't watch Deion last week. I don't get the Pac-12 network.
Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Do you have like plans or something? Like this is really disrupting you? You've got
Friday
a big
night.
engagement to be? We go to bed at 9 o'clock at night now.
Well, okay. Think about your week, though. You have Monday night's football.
Yeah.
Thursday night's football.
Yes.
Saturday, all-day football. Sunday's all-day football. So that leaves 3 days for either baseball or non-sports content to catch up on Netflix. I'm watching the Beckham documentary, and it's spectacular. It's a story of David Beckham growing up, and it's 1990s England fashion. It's great. I've never seen more frosted. Yeah, it's all about the Spice Girls and frosted tips on men. You would love it. It's like a time machine.
Yeah, I would love it. Well, let's welcome in our first guest of the day. I'm sure he would like this too. It's MIKE GOLIC Jr. on behalf of DraftKings. Gojo, good morning. Thanks for waking up early for us.
Of course. No, good to talk to you guys. It's been a while.
Wait a minute. Okay. Were you a guy who had the frosted tips in the 90s? Were you trying to go boy band?
No, I never had the wherewithal for that. I've been basically outside of my freshman and sophomore year of college, I was a straight buzz cut guy my entire life. I didn't have the audacity or the gall to actually go for the frosted tips. I just looked on from afar.
Never went mullet. You never tried it.
No, you know what? And that was a mistake while I did have the hair that I did. So again, growing up, I was a buzz cut guy. I went to high school, and I went to a Catholic high school that didn't let you have hair past the collar on your shirt. And so I got to college my freshman year at Notre Dame, and I grew my hair out, and really luscious locks, good curls, especially in the humidity. But I never realized my family's full legacy and went for the mullet because my Uncle Bob, probably one of the better mullets of all time during his time in the NFL, and then I'd say by the college years. So I left a lot of meat on the bone, which I regret.
Do you guys think that Sam Hartman's hair is somewhat distracting? It's spectacular.
He looks like Cat Stevens, and nobody knows that reference because Cat Stevens is too old now. But if you look him up, he looks just like Cat Stevens. It's glorious.
I'm actually sitting in front of a computer right now, so I'm going to pull up an image of Cat Stevens.
Still like Cats in the Cradle?
Yeah,
it's just like him.
Yeah. No, it's
there it is.
Especially like, see, the thing is when he when it's kind of wet during the game and he almost slicks it back, it's a little, but now I can definitely see what you're talking about here. It is distracting, though. Sam's done a really good job of cultivating a lot of follicle growth, and now it's gotten to a point where he's probably achieved, I'd say, the height of this look, and everyone else just has to kind of bask in the glory of it.
But how's the rain going to affect his hair for all those cutaway shots? You think it's going to be good?
Not the passing game so much, but how does it affect the hair?
I had a friend describe him as unnaturally wet to me during games, so I think it's only it'll at least take the off that. It'll be naturally wet. The rain will be the thing soaking it. But yes, kind of where he's been trending already.
Mike Golic Jr. He's got the Gojo Show. It's presented by DraftKings. Does a fantastic job. And, of course, massive Notre Dame, alum, fan, all of that. All right, so you get a second crack here at Caleb Williams. His line wasn't amazing last year when he played you guys, but obviously they won pretty handily. How does the defense stop Caleb Williams this time around?
So I think the challenge with Caleb is always, as a pass rush, you've got to do your best to collapse the pocket to contain, because the most deadly form of Caleb Williams is once he's able to break out of the pocket. But also it's when he's got too much time back there. So you've got to kind of rush with some aggression. You can see the problem he presents, as I described this, is you've got to find that perfect balance of, all right, you want to send the rush after him, you want to maybe try and spy, but you also have to make sure that you're not letting him scramble around, because this USC offense, you have so many deep developing routes, so much to push it downfield, that what it ends up creating is a ton of space in the middle ground. And so easy checkdowns to running backs or small routes to receivers end up going for big yards after that clock ticks 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds into the play. And so that's really, I think, the thing you've got to guard against the most. And I would say for USC's run game, which especially if the weather comes up could be more of a cog, it's a pretty simple formula, right? They like to run those Denard Robinson-esque RPOs where it's Caleb Williams in the backfield, he's doing the read option on the end, and then if he pulls it, he's got a tight end right out there in the flat. And they hit these for some big gains because they create so much space in the passing game. What I think Arizona did such a good job of in this last game is they made him hand it off. You brought two blitzers off the backside. You made sure that you put the end right in his face so that he has to give it off to the running back, and you've got to trust the rest of your defensive front seven to be able to go and handle USC's offensive line, USC's running backs, because the lesser of two evils is that you don't want Caleb Williams with the ball in his hand any longer than it has to be there.
What about on the other side of the ball? This USC defense obviously looks like Swiss cheese. Everyone can throw on it.
No, don't say that to Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
He says that's a media narrative.
Right. Okay, we have seen it, but I feel like Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said there's a narrative out there that the defense is bad, and so you have one bad game, and all of a sudden the media jumps on it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's I listen. I have a lot of respect for Lincoln Riley. I'm not going to make fun of one of the better coaches in college football or anything like that. But guys, I was amazed. I didn't get to stay up. I just finished calling a game, and so I went to bed. Because the last time I stayed up for a multiple overtime finish, I got 3 hours of sleep when Colorado State gave us that classic. I was amazed at how physically Arizona was beating up USC up front. Like, it wasn't just holes were getting opened up, it was bodies were getting dropped. And so I think for all the things USC did in the portal, I mean, Notre Dame, it's the perfect opportunity to lean back into your identity. It is going to be cold, windy, and rainy potentially. You're going up against a defense that just got pushed around. Tighten back up and run the ball the way you did against NC State and Ohio State. Like, this doesn't need to be a hard formula. Put it on the ground. You should have two backs pushing for 100 yards in this game easy.
I thought you could throw against USC too, though. So you don't think that and Marcus Freeman doesn't want to do that anyway. He's going to try and slow it down and keep the ball out of USC's hands, right?
Well, I think that's the best version of it because it's not I've always said this for Notre Dame, that ball control style of winning football works really well because it's not outside of what you do. Notre Dame wants to be an O-line, D-line led program. And in this era of football in general, not even college, but the NFL, so much of it is pass to set up the run. Your pass-first teams, leagues are set up to be passing leagues first and foremost. And with Notre Dame, you've got a great quarterback, so you'd think that's the case, but still a young skill group that's been kind of banged up this year, doesn't have a take the top off the defense kind of guy. And so I think you've got to be a run to set up the pass guy. What got them in trouble against the likes of Duke is Duke was just built well inside the middle. You have two Notre Dame guards who are making their first start at the beginning of this season that went up against the two senior captains on Duke's team on that defensive line. Dwayne Carter's going to be a future NFL guy. And so now there's none of that exists in the middle of this SC line. Bear Alexander's a good player, but you guys seen you can run, you can do most anything. So I think it's got to start on the ground for Notre Dame, and then it's got to work its way to the passing attack that when it's got a little bit more space, when it's got time and rhythm, especially in the quick game, that's where Sam Hartman and this group have been at their best.
Mike Golic Jr. is joining us. Of course, you can listen to Gojo and Golic on DraftKings Network. You guys do a fantastic job with you and your dad. It's awesome. Let's talk about Marcus Freeman for a moment. Gojo, have you seen enough from Freeman to be fully behind what he is and what he's about?
Yeah, I'll listen, especially like getting to spend time around him. You've got an unbelievable human being who understands the things that make the university special, that's gone out there and recruited well. And then I think he's going through some growing pains as a head coach. Like I keep reminding people, this is the second year he's done this ever. Like not at Notre Dame, not at the Power 5 level, not at the high Division I level. It's the second year he's ever been a head coach. And so I understand certain things that come up, the 10 men on the field stuff from Ohio State, inexcusable. Can't happen. Absolutely no way, no how. The rest of it I looked at as this was a part of the bargain when we signed him up for this. I thought there was an admission amongst Notre Dame fans like, hey, there were going to be some things that popped up we had to work through. And there's been a lot more good than bad. We know Marshall and Stanford last year, bad. Nobody had a good time with that. But, no, in general, I've got a lot of faith in what Marcus Freeman has been doing here with what's going on with the staff. But I do understand the realities of the sport. As I can say all those things, this is not rational actors. These are not rational people that are going to be making the decisions on the other side of this from the outside looking in. And so you have to – this is must-win territory for Notre Dame, a 3-game slide, even if it is during 8 games to start the season without a bye, even if it is your 4th straight night game, primetime against a ranked undefeated opponent. Nobody else cares about your problems like that. And certainly Marcus Freeman understands that. This team understands that. You got to go out there and find a way to win this game on Notre Dame's side. And quite honestly, it feels just as much win on the other side for USC, who is still in the heart of the playoff hunt, is playing in an unbelievably dogged Pac-12, especially on the top end of the conference. So it's high-stakes poker in South Bend on Saturday night.
All right, speaking of Pac-12, I got an impossible question for you. We have a lot of listeners in Washington and Oregon. You could build a team around one quarterback, Bo Nix or Michael Penix. Who are you going with?
Whew, man, it's so fascinating because I was thinking about this today because I'm going to be calling this game I do college football national radio for Learfield Saturday nights, and I'm going to be calling this game this weekend, and I'm thinking about, the Open and how we're going to talk about it. And the one thing I settled on is I think I trust Michael Penix the most when things are going right, and I trust Bo Nix the most when things are going wrong. Like when the play breaks down and you've got a guy that breaks contain, man, Bo Nix can do some special stuff now that we've harnessed the good and cut out the bad from the Auburn version of Bo Nix and gotten to this point. And he trusts Troy Franklin and a lot of guys in this receiver room, Ferguson is tight end. And then on the other side, when Michael Penix Jr. is operating Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb's offense that he knows really well going back to his time in Indiana, this guy is weaponized plutonium. He's got such a strong arm. He puts the ball in such special places, especially down in the red zone. So if I was going to build an offense around one quarterback, I would probably start with Michael Penix Jr., but it really is splitting hairs. These are two special quarterbacks that have both, for the last 2 years, been the engines behind the best offenses in college football. I might give the slight edge to Michael Penix Jr., but it's by a hair, guys. We are so lucky in this game.
Gojo, I know you're a massive Taylor Swift fan. Do you feel like perhaps, you missed the boat by not trying to shoot your shot with the, bracelets and stuff? This could have been you, dude. This could have been you.
You know what? I do appreciate the people that say that act like as if me and Travis Kelce were on similar footing at this party. What I do miss the shot for was, at the very least, it's, all right, he was trying to, go on a date, ask Taylor Swift out, this daunting task, biblical, the things that people write songs about, quite literally. I should have just shot my shot for tickets to the premiere for the movie last night. I'm in L.A. It was in L.A. I could have been over there. I saw people freaking out. She walked into a theater full of fans that she had apparently hand-selected where she was going to go in and watch the movie with. Like, I could have at least asked for some tickets there because that seems much more in my range of stuff that was possible if I just opened my damn mouth.
Well, I think the tickets went to Beyonce and people like that. Are you sure you could have gotten a ticket to that?
Yeah, man, that was, by the way, waking up and seeing that hit the timeline. I'm like, oh, okay, the two most powerful women in music just cutting it up here. Like, I couldn't believe that. So I did see some actual fans made their way in there, but I would have been seated way in the back away from Beyonce. That's how they do it. They just know to keep me very far away from anyone of value in these situations.
Listen, in our minds, Gojo, you, Kelsey, similar,
Spider-Man pointing me.
Listen, thank you so much. Have a great call on Oregon, Washington. That's going to be awesome. Good luck to your Irish this weekend.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Mike Golic Jr. Gojo and Golic is the name of the podcast, DraftKings Network.
Yeah, that's interesting about Bo Nix and Michael Penix. Those two guys are flying so high right now. It's going to be weird to see one of them lose on Saturday. Because, nothing has gone wrong for either of them all season long.
No, it's been incredible. And you're right about the stakes, not just for Notre Dame with, what's going on with their season teetering, but also for these two teams. Like, whoever wins this gets such a leg up and going to the college football playoff. I
mean, we were talking about parity. There's going to be a Pac-12 team in the Final Four in their final season. It's the best Pac-12. And I bet you they're going to be good at basketball, too. It's great. It's the way the universe works.
All right, Andrew Bogish is here with some headlines. Good morning.
Good morning again. Headline sponsored by Northern Tool and Equipment. Get the tools you need from the brands you trust. Start solving your projects today at northerntool.com. We're made for this. 7 consecutive ALCS appearances now for the Astros. They closed out the Twins in 4 last night, 3-2 in Minneapolis. Jose Abreu, a tie-breaking 2-run homer in the 4th, while Jose Urquidy and 3 relievers combined for a 3-hitter. Then they couldn't figure out who should lead the post-game champagne party. Manager Dusty Baker didn't want to do it just yet.
No. I'm doing the World Series. You do this.
Okay, so he's saving it for the World Series.
You would like that, Perloff. You think that the celebrating after each round is
I don't
premature.
Get it. Now that we have all these rounds in baseball, can we get rid of the celebration? You say there's tradition behind it, but we never had a wild card all those years ago. It's silly, right? Can you imagine the Eagles or the Niners celebrating a wild card victory? That would never happen in other sports.
I like it. Anyway.
Yeah, you like the goggles and
Anytime you can spray champagne on each other, you got to take those opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to act like you've been there before.
So Dusty wouldn't do the toast last night. Justin Verlander got the honors and began to talk about how long their road to this point was, and then he remembered.
I wasn't even here. I'm happy to be back. Yeah. 7th time. All right. Don't take that for granted. On 7. Everybody pop these motherfuckers. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, did something slip through my editing?
You missed one.
I think you got half of it.
I missed one that I heard. I didn't. I listened to that cut.
Yeah.
What happened?
At least 9 times, and I didn't hear that until just now.
Bilotti got it. It was all over.
So, talking about been there before, 7th what? Was that his 7th?
Their 7th ALCS.
That's the Ash and Verlander. How many for him? Jeez.
4 maybe?
Yeah.
Can they pick somebody else to do the speech?
I know.
What are we doing?
They were pointing at him.
I understand, but why him?
Give it
Somebody
to Altuve,
else.
Bregman, somebody who's been there the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know who did it. Oh, this was their first series. I don't know why.
Wait, was Verlander on the 2017 team? He was, right? That's when he got traded?
Yeah, he was. And also he got to the playoffs 5 years in Detroit, too. That dude has been in the postseason. He's been there.
Yeah, I know, but not this year. Not this year. He was with the Mets for most of it.
He should thank the Mets for being a bum when he was there and that he was able to get back to Houston.
That would have been a weird toast.
I'm just glad he remembered that he wasn't an Astro until last Tuesday. Because it started like, this is a long road. We all battled. We were hurt.
Yeah,
and it's like, wait, I wasn't even here.
Oh, wait a minute. I was in Port St. Lucie.
Oopsie. My bad. Anyway, so that was the party in Minneapolis after the Astros won. They partied in Arizona, too, after the Diamondbacks finished off their 3-game sweep of the Dodgers with 4 big swings.
Counts 2-2 on Moreno on the pitch from Lynn. And a shot to left center field. Back she goes. Are you kidding me? Wow. Gabby Moreno hits it out anyway, and it's 4-0 Diamondbacks. And Lance Lynn is just kind of staring out at center field.
Greg Schulte on Diamondbacks Radio. Gabby Moreno with the last of 4 solo shots off Lance Lynn, all in the 3rd inning. The first 4-homer frame ever in the postseason. Arizona a 4-2 win to give the Dodgers their latest playoff disappointment. The spot alongside those D-backs in the NLCS is TBD. The Braves took a 10-2 beating last night, allowing 6 homers. They now face elimination in Game 4 at 8:07 Eastern tonight. So at
did
least
you see the stare down, the Bryce Harper stare down
Sure did.
of Orlando Arcia. I
two
mean,
of them.
I don't think what Arcia said was that out of line.
Well, it was a little. Remember I'm not comparing Bryce Harper to Michael Jordan. I am not doing that. But do you remember in the Last Dance?
Okay.
When who was the guy on the Washington Wizards before Jordan got there? Obviously, he said "Good game, Mike." After they beat him.
Yeah.
It was nobody, right?
Yeah, it was like a guy. It was like a no-name guy. And then
like a journeyman.
And Jordan played him a couple weeks later and dropped like 50 on him. That's what the attaboy Harper.
So
when he got doubled off of first to end the game on Monday.
Harper was generating bulletin board material for himself.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he actually said attaboy Harper, but like that's not that bad.
Yeah,
and he's staring him down.
I don't want to talk about that series. I'm so afraid of jinxing it now. This is too good.
It's not about
too
you.
good.
Now you don't want to talk about it. Last hour you complained to Bogus that he
Well,
didn't
I
talk
want
about
Bogus to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, Maggie just compared Bryce Harper to Michael Jordan. You did do that.
I had to make a point.
You said I don't want to do it, but then you just went and did it.
Bradford Smith, thank you so much. Yeah. When he said "Good game, Mike," and then he came back and just destroyed him.
Thursday Night Football is half good, and we at least get the Chiefs. The Broncos are the problem, but KC is a little banged up. Travis Kelce and starting DN George Karlaftis are game-time decisions this evening. The Colts put Anthony Richardson on IR yesterday. Then head coach Shane Steichen said there's no timetable for the rookie QB to return from his shoulder injury.
He might get surgery, I saw.
Yeah, maybe 2 months out. So we may be signing up for a lot of Gardner Minshew right now.
Well, how about this? Just shut him down for the season. Gardner Minshew can win you games. Do you need Anthony Richardson to come back this year? You've seen the flashes. You know what he's got.
You don't need him to come back maybe to win the South, but you need him to come back to just play.
Yeah, get a few games under his belt for next year. Because next year, I think you're all in if you're in the rookie quarterback contract, tons of talent around him.
Okay, but think about what you're setting up. Say Minshew continues to keep them in the race, which is not crazy considering it is the AFC South.
And he's pretty good backup, too.
He's a very high-end backup.
Yeah.
So say you're staunchly in the race, and it's like week 15 or something. You're really going to bring back Anthony Richardson and give him the starting job if you're on the brink of the playoffs? No shot.
Well, listen.
Shut him down.
Yeah, they're okay. But if they lose this game, I think the momentum's already going to start to roll for Jacksonville. Same thing happened in Jacksonville last year. They went to London, galvanized. They could go to 4-2 if they beat them in Indy, which they probably will. I mean, they beat them in Jacksonville this weekend, so I don't think they're going to be in the playoff race. Are you guys see the Colts as a playoff team?
I don't know. I just don't trust a lot of the other teams in the South.
But you're absolutely right. That'd be silly to bring him back in Week 15. He hasn't played in 2 months. His shoulder is obviously a very sensitive thing. Although you think Deshaun Watson's a wimp for not playing with a shoulder injury, and
Never said wimp. I'm not in his body for me to be on the couch thousands of miles away. I can't call him a wimp. However, I just said it's a little odd for the quarterback position when guys are medically cleared to play and they do not play.
Yeah, the only counter I would have to that, I think a shoulder for a quarterback is a different animal altogether, and that's what we're talking about with Anthony Richardson. You don't want to rush him out and then there have been guys whose whole careers have been messed up by that shoulder.
Oh, I get it. But at the same time, you're paying Deshaun Watson more guaranteed money than anybody. You just had a division game that you basically had to lose because you had a backup quarterback. Now you've had a bye week. Now you're going to play the 49ers.
Right. But if you have a $200 million contract and his shoulder's not 100% and he really hurts it.
Who's 100%? Who's ever 100%?
When your shoulders mess up, your mechanics go all off and you're risking like another injury. And then you could have no Deshaun Watson for a long, long time.
Listen, I understand it. I just think it's not something we're used to seeing when guys are medically cleared and they don't play.
I give any quarterback who says my shoulder doesn't feel right, I do not want him playing. And I don't care if the medical staff clears it, it's your shoulder.
Yeah, but you could argue that a 70% Deshaun Watson or 50%, I don't know if they put a percentage on it, is better than 100% Dorian Thompson-Robinson and PJ Walker.
Yeah, but you could argue you triple your risk of having a season-ending shoulder injury.
You wanted Joe Burrow to keep playing. I said sit him down. You thought that he should keep playing through the calf. I mean, that could lead to an Achilles.
Did I say that?
You definitely said that.
Yeah, well, first of all, he's miraculously healed, which is so weird.
Get it.
But I do think the mechanics with a quarterback are that's very specific about your shoulder. It's not a pain tolerance thing. That's not my only point. He's not being soft by not going out there. He's afraid I'm going to get really injured, and then they're going to get nothing out of this $200 million contract.
But wouldn't you think that medical clearance includes them saying you're not going to hurt yourself further by playing. Like,
but how would they know that about
it?
How would they know that about a quarterback's shoulder? Only
they say it all the time. Like, you're hurt, but you're not going to make it worse by playing.
I always think that's weird because I'm like, you could have a 350-pound guy land on something. How do you know it's not going to get worse?
That doesn't count.
Yeah, right.
Well, look at baseball. When a baseball pitcher has a slight twinge anywhere on his arm, like he's out for 3 months.
Yeah, but
right?
that's baseball players.
But a quarterback's similar
in toughness.
There's not. Yeah, that's the thing. It's about mechanics. It's not about toughness. Like, this is about risking injury for Deshaun. I mean, I'm sure he could have gone out. He could have shot up a cortisone shot into that. Wasn't pain tolerance. Whatever. Meanwhile, you're like, Anthony Richardson should shut it down for the same
because
injury.
they're not playing for anything and they're paying him peanuts. Sorry, Bogues.
That's okay. Let's quickly do night 2 of the NHL season. Career goal number 1 for Connor Bedard, but it came in a loss, 3-1 for his team in Boston. The Avalanche 5-2 winners in LA. Carolina topped Ottawa 5-3, and Austin Matthews scored his 300th goal, 3 total last night in the Leafs 6-5 shootout win over the Canadiens. And the Aces thumped the Liberty 104-76 for a 2-0 lead in the WNBA Finals. No team has ever wasted a 2-0 lead in a best-of-5 in league history. Guys, back to you.
Andrew Bogusch, thank you so much. Coming up, are things already going south between one NFL coach and his quarterback? We get to that, plus the mystery box is still here, yet to be open. Who sent us something? We have a return address. It's a P.O. box. No one put their name on it. Someone wanted us to receive this today, Perloff. We're going to open it live on the air.
Also, you may have seen this, you may not have seen this. I have a headline that I will guarantee will interest you, that I will tease, that is going to make tonight's game must watch.
Okay, there we go.
Tonight's Chiefs-Broncos game, that is.
855-212-4CBS. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff straight ahead.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio. Got to hold off on the big headline that Perloff has for me.
It's huge.
Massive. Save that for the top of the hour. Also, the mystery box that has arrived here at the studio. It's looks rather unofficial, let's put it that way. Handwritten from Oak Ridge, Oregon. Perloff has a guess on what he thinks is actually inside the box. Here, let me show it. If you want to watch on the live stream, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. It's come from the P.O. Box, no name, addressed to us. We will open this at the top of the hour.
Super sketchy.
Very.
Super
Wait,
sketchy.
is there a name?
overstuffed.
There's no name, just P.O. Box.
Just a P.O. Box, Oak Ridge, Oregon, which we figured out is near Corvallis.
Actually, I screwed up. It's closer to Eugene.
Outside of Eugene.
I was looking at the
was
map.
The wrong way.
Let me see. Is there no name? Let me see this package here.
There you go. And it's not ticking, and you can't, there's nothing rattling around
There's
in
no
there.
powders. Yeah, there's definitely, like, why would you put your name on the return address?
I don't know. Maybe because we know people, like, if it's from a caller, I kind of assume guys are not using their real names anyway.
Wait, people are not using their real names? What? Is that right?
Wait, did you guys see the last night? This guy's name sounded so made up. The kicker last night for UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, was playing a game against Florida International, and the kicker's name was Buzz Flabiano. That sounds made up. Buzz Flabiano is someone who would call our show with like a hot take about the, I don't know, Vikings.
Okay.
Anyway. Let's get to a relationship that seems like it's already going south, might be the word. Frank Reich had some very revealing things to say about his relationship with the owner of the Carolina Panthers, and that is David Tepper. So here's the coach talking about ownership's involvement day to day.
He's not going to sit idly by. There's different philosophies in ownership. You know what I mean? Some owners kind of stay away and don't engage a whole lot. Other owners do, and his philosophy is he's going to engage. And listen, it's only been a short experience, but it's been a really good experience. It hasn't been fun. You know, it's not fun. Those meetings aren't. I wouldn't characterize them as fun meetings.
That's an interesting thing to say out loud into a microphone. Like, if I have a bad meeting or an intense meeting with my boss, I don't come on the air the next day and be like, you know what, Spike and I really had it out in that meeting. But, you know, we're better for it. Like, I don't think the fan base needs to be privy to that, because it makes you start to wonder what's really going on behind the scenes.
Well, I think he's saying it's not fun. Like, he wants to say, hey, we're taking this losing streak seriously. He's trying to explain the gravity of the situation. Like, nobody's taking this lightly in the building. We're 0-5. Isn't that what he's trying to say there?
I guess so, but it could also be seen as like, hey, we're all frustrated and now we're pointing fingers. Like, now the owner wants to meddle and I'm probably trying to defend myself or my methods or whatever. Like, it just cracks the door open for a lot of speculation.
Just speculation that Frank Reich's in trouble, but I read it more as accountability. So you have to take, like, the owner is not absent. He wants to win. He's telling the fan base that everybody here wants to win, which is so weird because this is a double bad situation because you don't have your draft pick.
Yep.
So there's no benefit to losing, to being the worst team in the league. Imagine the year where everyone's tanking for Caleb Williams and you're the worst team and you don't have a draft pick. And you have a quarterback you just took.
I know. And I think there's a little speculation there. I'm sure adding pressure to the situation is the fact that C.J. Stroud is off to this really great start. You know, Bryce Young, it's been a little tougher for him. He's already missed a game where your boy Andy Dalton came in. But
that was the one game their offense actually did something
against Seattle, in Seattle, which was not bad. But the thing is like C.J. Stroud, he's not turning the ball over. He's actually moving the ball downfield. There were a lot of questions about whether or not he was like mature enough. It looks like he's answered all of those. And meanwhile, you know, Bryce Young, it's been a struggle. I can't imagine that's easy. There were whispers before the draft that Frank Reich would have preferred a quarterback like C.J. Stroud just because, Perloff, like the measurables on Stroud were more like quarterbacks that Frank Reich had coached as opposed to Bryce Young, who is the outlier because of his size and weight.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little crazy, the judgments I'm hearing about Bryce Young. Like, you're talking about a bust 4 games in, and also
I'm not saying that.
No, not you're right. No. But people out there are saying he's a bust, he's too short. I mean, he's been, if you watch him, he's fine, right? I mean, like, he's just like average to middling. It's not Zach Wilson bad, is it?
I don't trust that he can put together a game-winning drive, but maybe you shouldn't have that trust when a guy's 5 games into his pro career.
No. Right, but I mean, Zach Wilson or Justin Fields early on. So Bryce Young is 64% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, 4 picks. He throws the ball away all the time. Yeah. He's just not making massive mistakes all over the place. I don't think it's a total dumpster fire, is it?
So here's Frank Reich again talking about how they have to simplify things now at 0-5.
Every coach would tell you when you're 0-5, what's the answer? Do more? No. The answer is do less. Every coach, the history of the NFL. Hey, we're 0-5, we're 0-3, we're 0-4. Do less. Do less. Does that mean you gave them too much? Maybe not. I don't know the answer to that. I just know we got to get better.
Again, totally understand what he's saying here.
Wait, I don't understand
but
that.
But it's like it's almost like when he says do less, like, hey, everybody, 4-day weekend. Like, not that.
Okay.
No, not do less.
Simplify things. I didn't get it at all. I'm like, wait, what?
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Frank kind of gave us he cracked the door open here in the last day or two for a little bit of speculation. Like, it's not fun meeting with the owner. We got to do less. It's a little odd sounding.
I mean, listen, we all knew that this was a bad situation coming in. Look at the receivers. I mean,
they traded away DJ Moore, and now they're looking for a receiver. Like, you guys didn't think about this beforehand?
I mean, their starting receivers are Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Jonathan Mingo out of Ole Miss, who was supposed to be good. It's not good.
Well, the other part too is when he says that like the owner is very involved. You remember when they were going around on different pro days and stuff? It was like a envoy, whatever. It was a convoy of like the owner, his wife, Josh McCown, Frank Reich, and all of the general, the GM, David, Scott Fitterer, whatever his name is. It was like they were going from Ohio State to Alabama, like to look at all these quarterbacks. He's obviously very involved. No fan in their right mind wants the owner involved. Not one. Talk to Cowboys fans about this. Nobody wants the owner involved. You want the owner mouth shut, wallet open.
Ooh.
Like that is it.
I don't know. I feel like you want your owner to want to win, though.
Okay,
that's good.
Yes, wallet open. Need a new practice facility. Need players in free agency. It's a salary cap sport, but you know what I mean. Like open the wallet for to make the players happy. All that stuff. Mouth closed. I do not want to hear from my owners.
But you're a big fan of sports owners, right?
The owner of the Mets tweets every time they lose. Like that's not helping anything. That's just one example. 855-212-4CBS.
To be fair, you've had some questionable owners in your sports fan history.
Thank you. I'm currently banned from a certain building, Madison Square Garden. So we are going to open this mystery box next. What did a fan send us this morning? We'll find out in just a moment.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
She can put away a large pizza by herself. He's allergic to cheese. They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Welcome into the show. A lot going on. You got the Chiefs and the Broncos tonight. I do not think it is hit rock bottom yet for the Broncos. There's still a lot more to go, including a blowout tonight on national TV or streaming, whatever.
Best thing that could happen to them. Just show the nation how little effort that defense puts in, then trade every player, and then Sean Payton's off the hook.
Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. Simple.
I mean,
I don't think it's going to be like that.
People are going to realize this is not Sean Payton's fault. They just have losers on defense.
Well, I think it is the head coach's fault because effort at this level should be a given. And the fact that he can't galvanize or make the team feel like they're playing for something, because you're not saying it's a lack of talent, you're saying it's a lack of effort. That, to me, does reflect on the head coach.
Well, okay, so what about the head coach before that, who also had the same problem?
Stunk.
What about the head coach before that? Vic Fangio.
Fangio. Yeah, defensive guy. I don't know.
What about the head coach before that? Vance Joseph.
They should be hiring these defensive guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's something rotten in that roster. It's like an apple that's gone wrong from the middle. It's not Sean Payton.
You know what's funny? We think of certain franchises as like where your legacy could go to die. You know, like you go to Washington, D.C. for a while. Like you're not coming out of there better than you came in.
Yeah.
Cleveland, for example. You're all of a sudden in Cleveland. It's like, well, now you're one step away from being out of the league or something like that. I never thought that Denver was that place. But think about it. You have Russell Wilson, whose legacy is in question now after he's made this move. And you also have Sean Payton. I mean, listen, he's on a 10-year deal, and Russell Wilson is still like the third highest paid quarterback in the league, so they are winning at life. But as far as their legacies, they're definitely taking a hit being in Denver, both of them.
How could Sean Payton's legacy take a hit? He's 5 games into this.
Because you thought it was going to be a new coach bump at the very least, and they're worse than last year with Hackett.
Who thought that? They had a 7.5 win total coming into the season. Their playoff odds were long. Like there was no expectations in Denver this year. There shouldn't have been. I guess expectations to be respectable.
Yeah, I mean,
but nobody thought they were going to the Super Bowl.
Well, maybe not. But right now, if the season ended today, they'd have the 3rd overall pick behind the Bears.
I think the reality is he took over a 5-win team, and there's a reason they were a 5-win team. So I think you got to judge them based on what they were last year.
It's funny. I don't think he came in, though, saying guys like, obviously you can't say this because you're trying to sell tickets, but you can't be like, hey, this is going to get worse before it gets better. You know, he came in and being like, I'm cleaning this up. No more office for Russell Wilson. You know, no more this, no more that. Look at how bad a job Nathaniel Hackett did. Like, he was still Sean Payton coming in talking tough.
But Sean Payton has no idea what's going on defense. I don't think he ever. Have you ever heard him talk about defense?
Well, that's a problem. I think that
it worked for 14 years in New Orleans.
Well,
Greg Williams and all those other guys took care of the defense.
Okay, but maybe you could have had even more success if you actually did pay attention to the defense. I think that's letting head coaches off the hook when it's like, oh, he's an offensive guy, so he doesn't know anything about the defense. I hate that when it's the defensive guy and they let the offensive guy off the hook. You're the head coach.
But you never blame Sean McVay if the Rams have a bad defensive game. That would be silly. Well, everyone knows Sean McVay has nothing to do with the defense.
Yeah, but you are the CEO of the team. It's your responsibility to make all the facets go.
Okay.
He's getting paid $100 million.
Are Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay the CEOs of the team?
Okay, think about this with Kyle Shanahan. I'm glad you brought that up. Kyle Shanahan keeps finding these great guys who keep taking over, and the defense is like getting better and better when these guys are leaving to go take head coaching jobs.
That's because they're drafting superstars left and right too. I mean, they're also drafting well. But Kyle Shanahan, listen, I think of the 28-3 Super Bowl lead. Kyle Shanahan, if anything, hurts his defense by being too good on offense. I just think that the reality is offensive coaches, Andy Reid, a big-time Andy Reid fan from Philly, I always separated him from the defense. It's just a different animal.
855-212-4CBS. Now, you promised me a headline coming out that's going to make this a must-watch game.
So
Kelsey update?
Yeah, you think it's going to be a blowout, so you might not tune in tonight for Denver, Kansas City.
To watch.
But if you want to watch, you will see many cutaways to Taylor Swift, who will be in the building.
Oh, she's back.
So she will be in KC. This is so weird to me because her being around Travis Kelce's mom, like this is now a lot of time around Travis Kelce's mom. So are they officially boyfriend, girlfriend?
Yeah. I mean, I think the relationship's fake, but sure, if we're going to go along with this ruse that they're dating, then yes, they're definitely boyfriend and girlfriend.
I mean, a month into a relationship, had you ever spent that much time with your new partner's parents? This is the oddest part of the whole
they
thing.
met like way too early. Meanwhile, but that's if this relationship is actually real. Got to give credit out there. Bless the internet and social media. Someone has already gone ahead and written a Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift breakup song. I mean...
Oh, that's cruel.
Will King is on Instagram, Will King Music. Here's a little sampling of the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. This is a pre-written breakup song.
Yeah, we made it to the 50, and then you kissed me. We made it to the 40, a new love story. We made it to the 30, and you did me dirty right then.
It's very on the nose with the football terminology, but this guy's pretty good. I think he got the essence.
When does this movie come out? Does it come out Friday? I think
so.
Okay, 3 weeks in the studios, and they can end this sham. Is that what we're thinking? Like, what's the timing of marketability wise? And I have
once
read
we get
that
the international audience, then they can call it quits.
She does tend to date celebrities around album releases, so
She's
obviously
smart.
we could be cynical here. What if they accidentally fall in love, though? It's like a rom-com where they were set up by their marketing teams, and they just spend enough time around each other and actually do fall in love. That's possible. They're both attractive people. They seem nice.
I don't think that's what's happening here, but that would be a good
But it
rom-com.
could happen. Why couldn't it happen?
I don't. Maybe. Can we get a little more from Will King? This is the preemptive Taylor Swift Travis Kelce breakup song.
Put the end in tight end, and as I touch down, just like you in a game, I'm in another town, and nothing feels the same. Wish I could go back when we met that day. Whoa, and throw a flag on the play.
Well done. It's very good.
Although I think the tight end puns are not allowed in this. They've been about 2 weeks ago. Everyone said no, those are not funny.
Yeah, it's just like everyone sort of the non-football people are getting caught up
In the tight end position.
Yeah.
It's just such an obvious dirty joke. Okay.
I thought it was pretty good. Good job, Will King. I think Taylor, could pay you some royalties on that one or whatever.
Yeah, you think it's good because you don't believe in love.
I do not. Well, myself. I mean, I believe in love for my
I'm
own
starting to
marriage.
think. I do think it started out as a fake, but I think they're going to fall in love. I believe in love. I think they get married. I watched the
Let's
Beckham.
take this charade all the way to the end.
So I got to be honest. I've been watching the David Beckham documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
And
is that a real relationship?
Yeah, they've been married for 24 years
Okay,
now.
well, so are Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. We just found out that relationship hasn't been real in a decade.
I watched David Beckham and Victoria Beckham, formerly, what Spice Girl was she? You probably
Posh.
know. Posh Spice.
Yeah, come on. That's right in my wheelhouse.
I watched about 15 minutes of their marriage, and it's exactly like my marriage. They are definitely married. There's a 5-minute
In what way are you and Sarah like Victoria? and Dave
5-minute scene where David complains to her that she does not appreciate how many dishes he does. I'm like, oh my gosh, they might as well be in our apartment. You're telling me that's a fake marriage, Maggie? That is 85% of a marriage is deciding who takes out the garbage, who does the dishes. Where are my glasses? That's
Splitting
like
chores is a big part of
oh,
the
they're
marriage.
so really married. There was no passion or romance with 24 years.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect that.
They were hot and heavy in 1996. This is completely real married life. So that could happen. I could see Travis and Taylor Swift living in some mansion and Travis being like, honey, you don't know how long it took me to do the dishes.
Yeah, well, you were flying around doing shows in South America. I've been here unloading the dishwasher.
Yeah.
You were upset by the Will Smith Jada thing.
It's the worst marriage of all time. It is that's the worst couple in the history. Well, except for like abusive couples or whatever Johnny Depp had or any of that. Not, take them out.
Okay.
We're not doing like Chris Brown. We're talking about couples that stayed above the law. It is the least romantic, least likable. There's nothing about that couple that is good.
Well, I thought it was interesting that if their marriage has been a sham for the last decade or whatever, they've been living separate lives.
2016. Okay. She has a book that's coming out. She says it ended in 2016.
But they're still married. Why slap Chris Rock across the face? I mean, why? What honor are you defending when you're living in the south wing of the mansion and she's living in the west wing of the mansion?
Because you're trying to perpetuate the lie that is your marriage.
I know, but she's got a book out basically blowing that all up.
And also, did they have an interview where they admitted they were sleeping with other people?
I think so. I think she
that
admitted
red table
that.
interview.
Yeah,
she admitted that she had an open affair. It's just, I don't like those people. Will Smith's from Philadelphia. His
I know,
house
it's
was
tough for you.
His house was 3 blocks from where I grew up. He moved to
Wow.
the Will Smith house, and then he moved to Bel Air. It's a long story.
yeah, his auntie and uncle in Bel Air. That's funny. Yeah, I was there for that one too. I remember watching that.
Oh yeah. When they break up, are they going to do the Will Smith meme where he's the last one in the house from the last episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air?
That's a good one. Looking around with no.
Wait,
furniture.
you don't feel this way about this couple?
I think all Hollywood marriages are pretty much fake.
That can't be true.
I mean, isn't it though?
If you ever Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. I'm going old school here. They were married for 45 years.
Okay, well, I don't know who she is.
Joanne Woodward? Oh my gosh, she's Paul Newman's wife.
Wow, what a way to define her that way.
She probably won like 3 Oscars.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'd know her if I know her face.
What about Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon?
They're divorced.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Ouch.
Next.
I was in a movie scene.
Got any more brain busters?
I was in a movie scene with Susan Sarandon. I'll tell you about that later. She was in her 60s and looking good.
Yeah, no, she's gorgeous.
Okay. George Clooney and his wife, the activist.
Amal? I know, but
that's a great couple.
She's not an actor or famous person, though. She's like a human rights lawyer. Like, I believe Matt Damon and his wife because his wife's like not someone in the public eye. Do you think Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are both in this for love? Please.
It has to be. It's the second time around.
Yeah, that matters.
So wait, let me ask you this. If it's a non-celebrity is half of the relationship, then it's okay?
I'm a little more inclined to believe that. Maybe. I think when it's 2 famous people, it's just too obvious. It's like, come on, this suits both of you.
I feel like Ben Affleck and J-Lo, I think I've tried everything. We might as well stick together because every other thing is a disaster.
Yeah. All right. We have the mystery box here. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio. This was a package that arrived this morning, sitting on the desk in the office. It's from Oak Ridge, Oregon, which is outside of Eugene. It's addressed to Miss Maggie Gray, which I appreciate. We have no idea what's in here. So we're about to open this live on the air. Can you guys see me okay? This is more for Andrew Kaplan. It's like the Halloween
Should you
theme.
put
It's
on
like cheese.
Should you put on rubber gloves or something to open this? Isn't that how they do it at the Capitol?
Do we think that?
Oh no, there's a box within a
It's a
box.
box inside of the box.
Do you have a name on the new box?
I do, and there's an address, and I want to make sure that does not make it on the air.
Okay.
Okay. Trying very hard here not to put this address on the live stream, so. Bogus is back with the umbrella from the Chili Challenge. Okay, hold on.
Nothing dangerous so far. Seems pretty benign.
All right,
Packaged very well.
Weird smells.
Yep. No.
Do we have like a? There's some like
there's a
padding
letter.
on here. There's a
There's
lot
a
of
note.
padding. Uh-oh.
There's a note inside the box.
Now, if it's going to be, as Bogus said, like magazine cutout letters.
Actually, the note says, Maggie, if on air, please do not read this note aloud. Thank you.
Now you got to read
Smart.
it.
Okay.
No,
You know
I'm
Now
going
you
to
gotta-
respect the wishes there.
But that actually that's a little scary.
That makes
No, I disagree. I think that's a good clue. That means they're thoughtful, it's personal, and they're not trying to kill you with whatever in the box.
Or maybe it's R-rated.
Oh, wow. Guys, Perloff, you were right. Look at this Oregon stuff. Oh, I knew becoming a Ducks fan was going to be a great idea.
Oh, that is a sick
This is
sweatshirt.
awesome. Oh my gosh, this is the most dope Oregon sweatshirt I've ever seen.
Wow.
That's
That is
amazing.
awesome.
We
So
got-
this is from Michael. Thank you, Michael. Oh my gosh, I saw inside that there was from Michael. Look at this dope Oregon sweatshirt. I got to put it on right
Michael,
now.
I like Oregon too.
No,
Michael,
don't
send
it.
me something.
Don't send it. And an Oregon mug.
Wow.
Yes, go Ducks.
Well, now I feel like a jerk being so cautious about the package. It was an awesome gift.
This is sweet.
People in
I'm
in
used
Oregon
to
are
getting
s-
hate mail.
yeah.
This is awesome.
You got to know, people in Oregon are so nice. This is not surprising at all. That is a gorgeous cup.
I love this. Plus,
Yeah.
we're a morning show now. We're drinking a lot of coffee. Like, that sounded weird. I'm going to need this. Oh, Michael,
Yeah.
this is great.
We might want to bury that last sound effect.
How
That's
cool.
great. Are you going to wear it Saturday
Wear it
for the
now.
big game?
I'm going to put it on right now. Hold on. Vamp for me.
I don't know if you have to put it on right now.
This is cool.
That Michael, that is very nice of you. I am a large, tall, preferably, because I think If you're going to be sending out Oregon gear, we should be like Phil Knight. We should have a different Oregon outfit every week. Maggie's having some trouble here.
I know,
okay.
Sorry, that was all the good makeup that Allie did this morning. Hold on one sec.
There you go.
Okay.
Man, there's nothing like trying on a sweatshirt for radio.
I know. Is this good audio right now? Me trying on clothes on the air.
Yeah.
All right, here we are.
Oregon has the best gear.
This is awesome.
They really do.
Pretty freaking awesome. So cool, Michael. Thank you so much. Mystery solved.
Yeah, there you go. Nothing to be afraid
I'm so glad
of.
it wasn't Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
So, by the way, Bogus came in for 1 minute with his umbrella, and then when he found out, I sensed some disappointment that it wasn't something horrible.
I know.
That's what I mean. I feel like a jerk. Like I was expecting the worst.
I know. I can't believe you guys were rooting for that. It's like you're rooting for me to open up and see like a dead kitten or something.
I mean, I don't know if I wanted to go that far, but I thought it was going to be the opposite end of a sweet Oregon sweatshirt and mug.
I wanted something unusual like pancakes or something, or batter or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I wanted a body part just to make a great story. Our boss came by and suggested it might be a human head.
I mean, we've all seen the movie.
Yeah, we all seen the movie. What's in the box? Oh, it's just if Brad Pitt had opened the box and it was just an Oregon sweatshirt, that would have been a much happier ending to the movie 7.
It's funny. Someone in the chat said knowing the Justin Timberlake song, they were like, "Be careful." SNL. You know what in a box. All right. Took Perloff
something else
there.
in a box.
Yeah. No, this is the best
I don't know how you
way it
would,
could have ended.
You can't really mail that.
Well, yeah. Thank goodness.
Well, there's many ways.
Maybe you could.
So cool. Okay, thank you. Thank you to Michael. This is awesome. I appreciate it so much. I will not read that letter on the air. I'm going to respect your wishes. I'll read it off the air. There we go. Okay, let's move on. Coming up next, we've got the latest on the Kirk Cousins trade rumors. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero is going to join us. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff right after this.
You're in a 5-minute break.
You stole my heart, you intercepted it. Now you're gone, have to accept it. Did I meet your mom too soon? Or did I do what I always do? Yeah, we made it to the 50, and then you kissed me. We made it to the 40, a new love story. We made it to the 30, and you did me dirty right then. You put the end in tight end, and as I touched down, just like you in a game, I'm in another town, and nothing feels the same. Wish I could go back when we met that day. Oh, whoa, and throw a flag on the play. You stole my heart, you intercepted it. Now you're gone, have to accept it. Did I meet your mom too soon? Or did I do what I always do? Yeah, we made it to the 50, and then you kissed me. We made it to the 40, a new love story. We made it to the 30, and you did me dirty right then. You put the end in tight end, and as I touched down, just like you in a game, I'm in another town, back on the plane.
So let's go there. Let's make our escape. Come on, let's go there. Let's just can we stay? Can you take me higher to a place where blind man see? Can you take me higher to a place where golden
One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, you can stream the NFL on Westwood One for free, sponsored by AutoZone. All season long, you can listen to every Westwood One broadcast of the NFL live on the NFL app by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports, or on the Odyssey app. Get in the zone, AutoZone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help you find a fix for free. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. Oh, Maggie, I am so excited right now.
For what?
Andrew Bogusch is going to have a sports update in a moment. It's going to be a celebration of Phillies home runs.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite noise in baseball is? It's not the crowd. It's not the take me out to the ball game. That sound when Bryce Harper connects with a fastball, that little click or a click or something. It's awesome. I played video of the Phillies all night long, and I'm sure that our buddy is probably mostly Philly sports update here, right?
Well, I mean, that's what he's been doing for you, right?
Yeah.
This whole playoffs. I mean, just
celebrating
highlight after
celebrating
highlight.
the NL defending champs. Although I don't want to jinx him, but that's my concern. I'm a Phillies fan. Bogusch is not a Phillies fan, so I'm just ready to celebrate the city brotherly love.
Well, you haven't beaten him yet, so let's just hold off a little bit
Okay.
on,
Oh, is he waiting for the series to be over?
I mean, I think you should be waiting for the series to be over before we're talking all tough. Yes.
I like the sounds of silence when he gets caught looking. Those I love that part.
Or doubled off first, but
right.
he did stare.
No, Bilotti, you missed that opportunity. You can't get caught looking. You got to go the double off first if you're going to make fun of Bryce Harper.
Well, and he did stare down Arcia, the shortstop for the Braves last night. Where was the throat slash? When did he do that?
I think when he crossed home plate.
Okay. Is he going to get fined for that? If Travis Kelce, or not Travis Kelce, if George Kittle, pardon me, I get my tight ends mixed up. If George Kittle can get fined for having a bleep Dallas shirt, don't you think Bryce Harper gets fined for the throat slash?
I have no idea. Does MLB fine? I know the NFL fine system. MLB fines, I don't even know what they do.
I mean, I'm sure someone will politely tell him that he shouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not cool.
Yeah,
by the way, it's not
tell
only
Bryce
that,
Harper anything.
It's such a dated move. There's so many more creative ways to talk trash. The throat slash, really?
I think it's kind of universal. Like I think it's timeless, ageless.
Yeah, I've always thought it's a little.
Not a bit.
Ask the Astros for a garbage can. They that could help.
Yeah.
By the way, Bryce Harper did show up in the stadium wearing a Deion Sanders T-shirt. You should like that.
Sure, whatever.
Him and Castellanos.
He's just trying really hard.
He usually wears a Trey Turner T-shirt. He's been wearing that as a good luck charm.
I didn't really get the Deion shirt. Deion played for the Braves.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think Bryce Harper knew that.
It's only one of the most famous moments in like the history of sports is when Deion's playing football and baseball on the same day. But sure.
That's one of the most famous moments in the history of sports.
All right, maybe a little hyperbole. It's a very famous moment.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't remember Deion as a Brave. They remember him so much for football. I think
the most I remember from Deion playing baseball is when he got into it with McCarver.
Yeah.
For me, the most iconic baseball moment is when Bo Jackson broke the bat on his leg. That
just like hands down, that's the number one moment.
I feel like Bo Jackson was more spectacular as a baseball player than Deion. Am I misremembering a little bit here? He was just a little bit different. Where Deion was really good, really fast, but Deion was never like an MVP candidate.
We'll have to debate that in a moment. Bogish is ready to go with the updates. You're like a technical whiz this morning.
Or I'm broken technically because I can't edit sound, and now that computer's completely.
Yeah, why are you on the wrong side here? What's going on?
Throwing us off.
This is my original side. I went over there to shorten my walk because I'm lazy, and now that machine just doesn't work.
That's not good.
Fun. It's not.
I guess
is that where the Phillies highlights are in that other machine?
Unfortunately, I left them over there, so.
Can't go from over there to over here. I mean, that's across the studio, and it's the year 2023, so we have no way to do that.
You guys have made my quest across the room even tougher because now there's extra wires and a TV monitor over here.
We got to see our Zooms. I
guess so. Brave shortstop Orlando Arcia talking some smack in the clubhouse after Atlanta won Game 2 of the NLDS, thanks in part to a base running error. Apparently, it came back to bite them in Game 3 last night. Atlanta catcher Travis d'Arnaud not happy that Arcia having fun became public knowledge.
The clubhouse is a sanctuary, and I think when things like that get out, it doesn't make people want to talk to the media at all. It affects the people who have been great to us all year, and it is what it is.
The Braves took a 10.
It's the media's fault now. They're a bunch of jerks. All right.
It's the media's fault that Arcia said,
no,
attaboy Bryce?
Because people heard him say it and then talked about it.
Then don't say it.
The other team, the Phillies didn't hear it. They were told that he said it by people who were in or outside the Braves clubhouse.
Well, that's how this works. That's what happens.
Welcome to being a professional athlete. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know how the media would survive without Orlando Arcia because there's just so much national heat around getting those Braves players. I mean, honestly, take like the third string quarterback at the University of Georgia has more interview requests than Orlando Arcia, but go ahead.
He and the Braves 10-2 losers last night, so they now face elimination this evening. Game 4 starting at 8:07 Eastern. The 100-win Dodgers already done with a 4-2 loss in Arizona. The 3-game sweep began with Clayton Kershaw allowing 6 runs, getting just 1 out in the first inning of Game 1.
Disappointing, no matter how it ends, if you don't win the whole thing. So obviously this one hurts a lot just because of how it went down. So, all the emotions that you mentioned, frustrated, disappointed.
The future Hall of Famer will apparently consider retirement this winter. The D-backs roughed up Lance Lynn last night, hitting 4 solo homers off him in the 3rd inning. That's the first 4-homer at-bat in postseason history, and it puts Arizona in the NLCS for the first time since 2007. The Astros, meanwhile, have now been in
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
in a row after taking Game 4 in Minnesota 4-2. Jose Abreu did not have a great regular season, hitting 67 points worse than last year, but just clubbed 3 homers and 7 RBI over 2 days. His manager, Dusty Baker.
He's a guy that's very even-tempered. When he was going poorly, he told me, it's okay. And then when he's going great, he's like, it's okay. And I'm like, when he was going poorly, I was like, man, it ain't okay. But, in his mind, he knew that, it was okay.
The Astros and Rangers begin the ALCS in Houston on Sunday. Guys, back to you.
Andrew Bogish, thank you. You are a warrior for somehow getting from that side of the studio to this side of the studio. We appreciate your sacrifice. Let's turn our attention to NFL Network Insider. You can watch him on the Insiders Monday through Friday, 12 noon Eastern time on NFL Plus and 1 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network. Tom Pelissero, good enough to wake up early with us this morning. Good morning, Tom. How are you?
I'm great, Maggie. Andrew, how are you guys doing?
Well, we're doing fantastic. We got a lot to get to around the league, and we need your insight. Let's start here with the Vikings, because I think that's been on the tip of everyone's tongue. With Justin Jefferson going on the IR, a lot of speculation about Kirk Cousins' future. What can you tell us? Do you think he'll get moved before the deadline?
Well, I would start by saying this. Kirk Cousins is still on a record-breaking type of a pace in an offense that he loves. He has kids in school. He's put down roots in Minnesota, and he's looking at free agency in March. He has a no-trade clause, and that doesn't really profile like a guy who would be inclined to waive his no-trade clause. Now, nothing's impossible. We've seen a lot of different things happen within the NFL, but you need somebody who would be willing to give up premium assets in terms of draft picks to get Kirk Cousins, that would need to be able to pay his salary, and that would have a situation that makes Cousins believe that going someplace else for the final however many games it might be, 10, 11 games, is better than simply staying here, throwing for close to 6,000 yards, and then getting another big bag of money come March. So it's a complicated deal to do. It's not as simple as should the Vikings trade him. And I would also say, if you look at the Vikings statistically, they're one of the top offenses in the league, but for the fact that they turn it over more than anybody in the league. The fumbles are at a historic rate so far this season, especially the lost fumbles. And so if that just is able to sort of smooth out here, there's no reason the Vikings shouldn't still be a factor. Of course, that's also without mentioning, again, that Justin Jefferson's out for at least the next 4 games with a hamstring injury, so the task just got that much tougher to get back in this thing.
Tom, it feels like there's already a lot of heat around the trade deadline after Week 8. But is it an exception for a quarterback to be involved in trade deadline talk? I'm trying to think. I know Jimmy G got traded, but it's not usual for quarterbacks to move midseason, because don't they have to learn a lot at that position to make it work midseason?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Andrew, because quarterback and receiver are probably the 2 hardest positions for guys to step in, and we've seen a lot of receivers actually dealt at the deadline through the years, but the immediate impact of them has been limited in a lot of cases. With quarterbacks, you're talking about a really short list, and that's in part because, unlike other positions, you can have 5, 6 receivers on your roster. You trade for another one, he fits in the mix. With quarterback, you're talking about a massive sea change, and so usually, yes, it requires some type of an injury. The Vikings had it years ago when Teddy Bridgewater got hurt, and that was right before Week 1, but they went out and traded a first-round pick and more for Sam Bradford. It does happen, just not a lot at the deadline because of all the reasons you mentioned, and then on top of that, the fact that you got to pay the guy, you got to give up the assets to go and get him. It's a complicated calculation. We also could be sitting here 1 week from now, and somebody got hurt on Sunday, and some team gets desperate and says, we're going to try to make it worth everyone's while to go get one of these guys.
It's not quite as hot right now, but what about the Jets' Kirk Cousins talk? Any chance there?
Well, you have Aaron Rodgers, who intends to come back this year. They already are short on draft picks because of the Rodgers trade, and they owe Rodgers a bunch of money. So, again, anything's possible, but they also run a vastly different type of an offense. So Kirk Cousins then would have to want to go and either, bring his family with, pull his kids out of school, or have them stay behind and go there for 2 months with all the pressure of New York, when, again, he's got free agency looming in March. None of this is impossible. I just think from a logical perspective, it's a tough sell for him to go anyplace. And also, I think it bears mentioning, Zach Wilson's played better. It's not great. It's not all-pro caliber quarterbacking, but he has gotten better. There was one play, not this past week, but the week before, where he made a check at the line of scrimmage and hit an explosive play. And that entire offense is built around Aaron Rodgers having everything at his disposal, being able to make all these checks, get you in and out of different plays, change the protections. You can't just all of a sudden take that and put everything on Zach Wilson's shoulders. So they're kind of giving him a little bit more every week. They are seeing improvements. He's really, really talented. It's just the consistency that he's got to get better with.
Tom Pelissero is joining us, of course, NFL Network Insider. You can see Tom on the Insiders Monday through Friday, 12 noon Eastern on NFL Plus, and then 1 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network. We're big fans of that show, Tom. You got Denver and the Chiefs tonight. We'll put Taylor Swift to the back burner just for a moment. I know, how dare we? But let's talk about the Broncos side of this. Perloff and I don't agree on one point, which is the Broncos look pretty bad. I don't know if they've hit rock bottom yet, but it's not great. And how much responsibility does Sean Payton bear for the fact that at times the defense looks uninterested in executing their assignments and tackling.
That's the biggest thing here is last year, as much as the Broncos struggled to win football games, though also they did have 2 wins at this point. They started out 2-1. I think everybody forgets that. But the defense was really good. And they had Adrian Evero, who had learned under Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator. So he was promoted. They stayed on track. They were one of the best units in the league. Now you're running a totally different scheme under Vance Joseph, who's been in this game a long time. He's very aggressive. He wants to blitz. And it just looks like you're having these breakdowns week after week, whether it's in the run game, whether it's, in that Bears game in the first half when they were just turning guys loose. Obviously, the Miami game was a complete disaster. The parts just aren't fitting right now. And anytime you have a new coach coming in, especially one like Sean Payton, who has a very clear vision for what he wants it to look like, there's going to be some growing pains in turning into getting that personnel right. I think, though, the biggest disappointment for the Broncos has to just be how bad the defense is, because offensively, Russell Wilson is serviceable at this point. Set aside the trade, set aside how much money he's making. He's not one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league. He's somewhere around the middle of the pack right now. Makes a bad error at the end of the game last week with the fumble, and he heard about it from Sean Payton on the sidelines here. But you can get by with this version of Russell Wilson. You probably want to keep adding playmakers, and you'd like to get healthy in terms of your running backs when the tight end's been hurt, and they do get Javonte Williams back tonight. But yeah, I think that Sean Payton certainly was having higher expectations for himself and hoping that they were going to start faster here. I do think that they're going to be active before the trade deadline. We'll see exactly what that ultimately entails. But, there was going to be a process here to get things looking the way that Sean wanted them to, and the defense not doing anything so far this season has really made it difficult to assess exactly what they're building there in Denver.
Tom, I want to ask about another difficult quarterback situation. Deshaun Watson in Cleveland, he was medically cleared to play last week and did not play, and it looks like he might not play this week. Do you know anything about this shoulder injury? Is this a pain tolerance issue? Is Deshaun Watson concerned that he's going to further injure it? If you're a Browns fan watching this situation, what are you supposed to take out of it?
It is a little bit of an unusual situation, Andrew, because everyone, including Deshaun Watson, believed going all the way up until the Sunday of week 4 that he was going to start. He came out for a throwing session. He couldn't throw the ball more than about 10 yards, and they decided collectively, okay, we can't put him out there like this. How in the world are we going to function as an offense? It was reported as a shoulder bruise, which if I'm thinking shoulder bruise, just in my own life, I'm thinking I walked into a door, right? You're thinking you ran into something,
Be careful,
whatever,
Tom.
and you got a bruise on your shoulder. What I reported a couple days ago is this is a rotator cuff contusion, which is a different injury. It's an internal injury in the ball and socket part, the joint of the shoulder. And so that can cause weakness, lack of strength. It can cause some pain. And that's what he's been working through. So he took the bye. He was resting. He was rehabbing on his own, came back, didn't practice Monday, did not practice yesterday. At this point, things seem to be potentially tracking toward P.J. Walker, who's, been around. He started some games for Carolina, was in camp with Chicago, then ended up in Cleveland. He potentially could be the starter this week against the 49ers. We'll see. We still got a few days leading up to kickoff here, but not ideal at a time that you started to see Deshaun Watson look a little bit more like Deshaun Watson. Anybody besides that guy, you have to run a different style of offense. And, if he does not play this week, I think the offense, one way or another, is going to look a lot different for Cleveland.
Tom Pelissero joining us, NFL Network Insider. You can watch the Insiders Monday through Friday, noon Eastern on NFL Plus, and then 1 p.m. Eastern, NFL Network. Tom, listen, we're all on Bill Belichick watch here. This is odd for us, people who have watched him dominate for 2 decades, to see them mediocre and, quite frankly, below mediocre. If they lose to the Raiders, fill in that blank, ... Belichick's coming off the 2 worst losses of his career as a head coach.
Well, Maggie, we're in uncharted territory here with Bill Belichick, who is arguably the greatest coach of all time and has all the rings going back to his days with the Giants and has been untouchable in New England for a long time, because you always think Bill's going to figure it out. And if you go back and you look at it statistically, September is always his worst month. The Patriots have never been a fast-starting team because you're experimenting, you're figuring out, okay, what do we do well, what do we not? Let's put guys in different positions, let's see what they can do. This feels different in large part because it's the 2 worst losses of Bill Belichick's head coaching career in back-to-back weeks. And they don't obviously have a Tom Brady caliber quarterback. Mac Jones played pretty well the first 2 weeks of the season. The last 2 weeks have been bad, and he's been turning the football over. You wonder, just from a personnel standpoint, if they've got the guys specifically on offense. I think there was a lot made of, well, last year Matt Patricia was the problem. Bringing in Bill O'Brien, that's going to fix everything. They don't look substantively better than they did a year ago on the offensive side. And so they're trying to get to the bottom of this. Listen, I'll always say this because we see crazy things happen in the league. You never say never on anything. I find it hard to believe Robert Kraft would fire his Hall of Fame coach, would move on during the season, regardless of the circumstances. I find it hard to believe he wouldn't let Bill finish out the season. Again, in uncharted territory here, and there absolutely is rightly focused on exactly what's going on in New England. This is a huge game this week for a lot of different reasons. Josh McDaniels stuck around in the second run with New England for quite a while there. And there were, one point, you remember, he was going to take the Colts job. I think that was back in 2018. And then Robert Kraft and company talked him out of it, and he stayed. And people looked at that as, okay, is Josh going to be the successor? And then when it became apparent Bill was not leaving anytime soon, Josh ended up taking the Raiders job here. Josh badly wants to win this game. And Bill badly wants to win this game, no matter how much he can keep the straightest face in all of sports at the podium every time he's asked questions. There have to be hard conversations in that building. But with Bill, you look at his comments about we need to start over. We need to start everything over. And everyone was asking me all week, what does that mean? What does that mean? In Bill's mind, that means coach better and play better. That's as linear as he thinks about this thing. In this case, they got to coach a lot better and play a lot better, or the season's going to get a lot worse in New England.
Tom, we got a break, but quick question. How jealous are you of all the NFL Network people in London? I want that junket so bad. How do you get that?
It's a great question. I'm in year 7 at NFL Network, never been invited to London. I'm jealous of I'm sitting right here. I'm on Good Morning Football today, and I'm looking at them off air right now. They're all wearing those creamsicle Bucks jerseys. Colleen Wolf's wearing a number 1. I had to Google it for Shad White. I thought it was Donald Igwe Bigwe. Those things are taking me back, man. I miss out on a lot of stuff, but hey, sitting in my basement, wearing a shirt and tie, trying to look awake. That's my job here.
Tom, if we can help get you to London, we will help.
Yeah, letter writing campaign. We can start a hashtag Tom to London or something like that. It might get confusing about Brady. Whatever. We're going to figure something out for you.
I'll live tweet it by boat. How about that? We'll take a nice freighter over there. I'm in.
I love it. Queen Mary. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it again. Tom Pelissero, NFL Network Insider. Insiders Monday through Friday, 12 noon Eastern on NFL Plus, 1 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network. Coming up, Perloff, the one college football coach, is getting very defensive. Does he have a right to be? Get to that in a moment. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Raybut? Okay. This
Who you listening to? Kenny Lattimore. Brand new. Not even out yet. He's a friend of mine, you know, right?
Top 10 moments from Andrew Perloff's Skyline Chili Bet Payoff. Number 10.
With the cheese, he is very delicately breaking the film.
Number 9.
There is juice cascading off his nose.
It's good.
Number 8.
All the way in. Oh, we have spaghetti. He has found the pasta.
Number 7.
Big bite. Oh, that's a lot of pasta.
You're really getting in there.
Number 6.
Why I didn't.
There we go. Slurping sound.
Good slurping.
Number 5.
Oh.
Number 4.
Oh my God.
That was a full open mouth tongue scoop of pasta. This
Number
is
3.
friendship. Oh, it's like he's a 4-year-old.
Number 2.
A bowl of chili anymore. Oh, our first rip of pasta.
and the number 1 moment from Andrew Perloff's Skyline Chili Bet payoff.
Noises as we gobble up. Oh, no, it's over.
One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio. This day is turning into an awesome one. Came into the office. There was this mystery box sitting on our desk. We thought maybe there could have been a human head in it. Instead, we open it up live on the air. It's a sweet Oregon Ducks sweatshirt for me and a cool Oregon mug.
Yeah, Oregon's got the best gear.
This is
green and yellow.
It's awesome.
Washington, the Huskies have good gear too. Maybe someone send me? Now I'm jealous. Send me some great college gear.
Thank you to Mike in Oak Ridge, Oregon, who sent that in. This was not like officially from the Oregon program. This was just a listener who was so happy that I've jumped on the Ducks bandwagon.
Are you saying that so it's not a recruiting violation?
Yeah,
it's not officially from the Oregon. Yeah.
No, I just want to give Mike in Oregon and Oak Ridge all the credit in the world because he's the one who paid for the shipping. I mean, everything.
He said there's a note not to read it on air. Did you read it?
I did read it.
Why can't we read it on air?
Well, he didn't want me to, so I'm going to respect the wishes.
Well, was it juicy? Was it personal?
No.
Was it emotional?
No. It was.
Give us something here.
It was very sweet.
I would never want to hear Mike's note until he told us not to read on air. Now I'm dying to see it.
It was. I'm going to keep between us because he sent me this nice sweatshirt in the mug. So
fine.
Now
Don't you guys want to know what Mike had to say?
Yeah, but I guess we got to respect his wishes.
Why? Okay.
Let's put his phone number in there. I'm not going to put that out.
Maggie wanted me to read a tweet that was going to land my daughter in jail just now.
No,
not a
sounds like I'm gonna be
text.
in jail. I thought that was very sweet what your daughter wrote to you. It's
How
so
is that
innocent.
sweet?
It's so innocent, Perloff.
Oh, okay. Now we have to. I will share, unlike Michael's letter. My 6th grade daughter sent me a text, which is already problematic during the school day.
It's kind of early.
But she said, Dad, can you send me your signature? You guys forgot to sign the math quiz. Can I forge it? So I could forge it. And of course, I was fully ready to do this and send the signature. But I called my wife just to check. And she's like, don't do that. I'll just send a simple email to the teacher. I'm like, and I'm, by the way, sure that she already forged it. And it's going to look so obvious. She's a 6th grader.
I think it's so cute that she basically asked your permission to forge your signature. Like, normally kids, like a kid who's actually like I don't want to say a bad kid, but like would just go ahead and forge it and you'd never be the wiser. This is so adorable. She's trying to bring you into her scheme.
She's 11. She doesn't know how to forge signatures. She shouldn't even have to do this. I know who put it up to her. It's definitely her older sister who's also on the bus. And this is out of her playbook. This is out of her playbook. The fact that she could so naturally forge a signature made me wonder. I'm like, wait a second here. I have not signed a lot of her quizzes. I'm like, my daughter has no idea. My 11-year-old has no idea, but the 13-year-old knows all this game. This is a lot about. I was ready to do it, by the way. Would you do it?
Definitely. I would totally give my kid my signature to forge.
But
wait,
it's not like the kid failed the quiz. We just forgot to sign it.
No, but it's so funny because it's your older daughter, too, who's been secretly, I think it's your older daughter who's been secretly ordering stuff on your Shake Shack app and you didn't know.
No, that is a mystery. I had a random alert from Shake Shack. She said she did not order Shake Shack.
Okay. I mean, I believe her.
You think she's lying?
I don't know. I mean, I would have lied about that. When I was her age, if I put myself in her shoes, I would have lied about it.
If you get a mystery alert from Shake Shack, is that a serious identity theft warning? Because I worry about like my bank accounts getting cleared out, not somebody ordering a cookies and cream shake. I almost respect that.
They somehow got access to all your information, looked at all of your apps, and was like, Shake Shack.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into the retirement fund, but I'm going to get a double burger here. It's a delicious way to go. So yeah, actually, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up. I have to address that issue, the Shake Shack scandal.
Man.
You think it's my daughter?
I'm just saying I'm not calling your daughter a liar. I'm saying if I were in her shoes, I would have ordered it.
Listen,
and then blamed it on someone else.
My 13-year-old daughter is an important person to the show. She is the social media manager of the Maggie and Perloff Show.
Unofficial because we can't pay her money, but
she's the only one who really understands TikTok in this group.
When she was like, what's the login for your TikTok account over the summer? I was like, we don't have one. The disdain, the pure disgust in her face was like, then how do you survive? How do you breathe air if you don't have TikTok?
I mean, I shouldn't say this on air, but she has more followers than us do.
This is so sad.
Yeah.
Like we do a nationally syndicated radio show and your 13-year-old daughter is more TikTok followers.
She's like, Dad, don't you understand the algorithm? I'm like, you're 13. How do you know the word algorithm?
And also, no. Can you please describe it to us?
I'm not sure I understand the word algorithm.
I thought I did, but now I'm not so sure. Twitter's changed.
Oh, by the way, should I follow up? I know that there's going to be huge trouble about this Ford signature. I don't think the principal of the school listens to this, but she's getting in huge trouble. This is not what I need here. Your advice is of no help. You were clearly a cheater throughout your school years.
I did forge a couple signatures back in the day.
Yeah,
I did. My mom definitely found out about it too. She's like, "You're forging my signature?" I was like, "Yeah, because I skipped 7th period." Sorry.
Did you ever copy off a friend's task or anything?
No. I could not cheat that way
Not
because
once?
No, I'm too worried about getting caught in the act. This was like I'm signing away my mom's signature.
D-Cell sounds like you are the opposite.
I used to write on my hand. I did it all. Anything I could think of to try and get a passing grade. Absolutely.
Way to come clean.
Yeah, I was the nerd who everyone tried to copy off of.
Yeah,
that's a very stressful situation to be the best kid in your math class and having all your friends huddle around you in the middle of the test.
Yeah, we're so sorry for you, best kid in the math class. No one's feeling for you.
Well, yeah, but I would get in trouble too if I got copied off of. It's an uncomfortable position for a nerd to be in.
It'd be more uncomfortable when you get shoved into a locker for not giving everyone the answers. Pick your poison.
A lot of bad memories.
Coming up, one Super Bowl champ goes off on the Cowboys. Who was it? What did he say? We'll get to that in a minute. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
was the Heisman Trophy winner in 1986. He left her off the ballot. They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Bet you guys didn't know that about me. Heisman Trophy winner. Sitting right here in the studio. Hey, it's Maggie and Perloff right here on CBS Sports Radio. Well, the Cowboys don't play until Monday night, right? They play the Chargers. This is going to be an interesting one. We're going to get a lot of offense, I would imagine, because
Hopefully.
Chargers defense has not been exactly what the 49ers are putting out.
Yeah, but the Cowboys offense really has, most of their scoring has been on defense. The Cowboys are wearing all white, by the way, which should be a lot of fun. That white uni. Yeah, I do not know that we're going to get a lot of offense on that game. Seriously, what have you seen in Dallas that makes you think they can be explosive?
Well, the offense has come under scrutiny now, and we can add Super Bowl champion Richard Sherman to the list of detractors. He went off on CeeDee Lamb on Fox the other day, saying that CeeDee Lamb, not a number one wide receiver. Let's hear it.
If you think he's a bona fide, line up out there one, then yeah, that's overrated because
I do.
There are number ones in the league. So you're saying he's in a conversation with Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, Debo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and Mike Evans. You're saying he's in that conversation?
Yes, in the conversation.
Then you're not watching it. The conversation he's in is with guys like Jalen Waddle, like Garrett Wilson Jr., Tyler Lockett, T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Chris Godwin. Those guys,
pretty good.
Those are really good guys. I'm not saying they're bad players. I'm saying that's the caliber of receivers that we're talking about.
Yeah, I think that Sherman's right on here.
Dead on.
I don't think that this is necessarily a dig at him either. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is a two-time Pro Bowler, so clearly he's got, he's respected and well-respected in this league, but I just look at, as far as reception so far, he's 15th. Like, I think that's right about where he should be. I don't think anyone's confusing him for Justin Jefferson and Devontae Adams.
Well, last year he had a big season last year.
But the whole offense had big seasons last year. They were like one of the top 5 offenses in the league. That's why getting rid of Kellen Moore, while you understood it to get rid of their offensive coordinator because they can't get past the 49ers, in some ways it kind of didn't make a lot of sense because they were putting up these big numbers.
Here's the thing, and this actually, it's not really about CeeDee Lamb. It's more about Dak Prescott. When Dak Prescott drops back, he doesn't really, right now, he does not really have a lot of safety outlets. It's really CeeDee Lamb or bust.
Yeah.
But CeeDee Lamb is not like Stephon Diggs. He's not going to take it and go 80 yards. He just feels like more of a big possession receiver to me now. And he's not, look at the L of the plays. He's not that open. Like, is Dak ever throwing to really wide open guys? Not really. I think this is a much bigger picture than just Dak Prescott has problems. And I think that's what Richard Sherman was talking about. Like, it's not like Dak Prescott has all the weapons in the world at his disposal.
Yeah, and I think it's funny, though, because when you're talking about this West Coast offense or the Texas Coast offense, you think that CeeDee Lamb would be a really great fit in an offense like that,
Well, yeah, he is. I think he's like Brandon Ayuk. He's good. He's a good fit. But something's clearly missing, right? I mean, there's just not, this year especially, there's not a lot of explosion.
So who's to blame then, right? If we think that CeeDee Lamb is not a number one bona fide in the class of Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, who else did Sherman say? Like Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, whatever. Then who's to blame for this? Because I look at it and I say, I'm not going to blame Dak Prescott for this. We blame Dak for tons of stuff. I'm not going to blame him for this. I'm going to blame Jerry Jones, the general manager. I'm going to blame the front office who clearly didn't give them enough weapons. I mean, Brandon Cooks, listen, he's a great receiver. He's a very good receiver. There's a reason he's always available, isn't there?
I am so confused by that guy, but yes, there is a reason probably, but I thought he was going to fix a lot of this with his speed, but he hasn't, which makes I blame Mike McCarthy more than Jerry Jones. You watch that offense, it just doesn't move around like a Rams offense or the Niners offense. It feels like you know exactly what's going to happen. Like, we're not offensive masterminds. And I feel like we could predict a lot of the play calling with Dallas. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of ingenuity, and guys are not really getting open for Dak Prescott, and the run game's not explosive or confusing at all. I feel like the NFL offense, and Mike McDaniel specifically in Miami, it's evolving. And this Texas coast is not evolving at all. I think it's more on McCarthy than the personnel.
I don't know. I mean, McDaniel, look at what he's got at his disposal. He might have like 3 of the fastest players in the entire league all on the offense. Like,
Yeah, but when they run, they do a running play.
Yeah.
It feels like there's a little razzle-dazzle or something going on. Like something's happening before the play.
Well, they're also calling, what did Sean McDermott said, Mike McDaniel's like borderline revolutionary offense.
Yeah.
What's revolutionary about Mike McCarthy? That's
Well,
not what you're getting.
The way he's moving guys is even different
Yeah.
than McVay. I think that's what's revolutionary is like, oh, crap, this is coming at us. It's like a wall of speed, and they don't know where it's coming from. You're right. So you're saying that's because of Tyreek Hill and all these guys.
Yeah, the personnel.
Yeah, but they got to try something in Dallas. Something is clearly not as easy as it should be. Like they're playing the Chargers on Monday night, and they should be able to score 35 points, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just think the Chargers are going to look at the tape and be like, all right, if we just cover CD here, we're fine. There's not really a lot of different weapons there.
It's funny. Tom Diesel, I feel like you think Dak is the problem on this one.
I think Dak is mostly to blame here, but there's one person that I can completely rule out who used to get almost as much blame as Dak, and that's Kellen Moore, because they kicked him out.
Yeah.
They couldn't wait to get him out. So I think it's mostly Dak here, but it's fair to look at Mike McCarthy because you took over the play calling. You couldn't wait for Kellen Moore to be gone.
Yeah, right.
And this is supposedly what you do best. So I think it's getting closer to a 50-50 split between Dak and McCarthy.
Well, yeah, but D-Cell, what did Kellen Moore do against the Niners?
Yeah, not a lot.
The same exact thing as Mike McCarthy.
I get it. But if you wanted the play calling duties, and this is why Jerry Jones brought you in, because during COVID you were just watching games. You were watching games after you got booted out of Green Bay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't look at Mike McCarthy here and say it's almost as much on you as it is Dak.
No, I think it's fair that it should have looked better against San Francisco. Now, it's possible that with San Francisco, while everyone else wants to call themselves the 85 Bears or the second coming of the Legion of Boom or whatever, it's possible the 49ers might have an all-time great defense. So it's, maybe nobody is going to be able to find a lot of wiggle room.
And the 49ers offense is by far the most explosive offense Dallas has seen.
Yeah, I mean, both sides of the ball is just rocking and rolling right now for San Francisco. But I do think that was the big litmus test, right? It was like, all right, you couldn't score against the 49ers in 2 straight playoffs. And now what's going to be different with McCarthy? And they got smoked again.
Okay, that's all true. And I don't know how I got in this position, but I'll defend the Cowboys a little bit. They seem to be good against bad teams, except for Arizona. I mean, they destroyed the Patriots. They destroyed the Giants.
The Jets, yeah.
You might just want to win enough games, be 12-5 one more time, and just hope the Niners get all sorts of injuries.
Okay, but you're not getting a home field advantage at that point if the Eagles continue to win. So
that's why I'm saying in 3 weeks they play the Eagles. That could be a real litmus test. Like if the Eagles have looked a little bit slower, a little bit off. They're 5-0, but something is not the same as last year. The Cowboys, they obviously have a Niners problem, but maybe they'll get a little lucky and the Niners will take a step back. Because we've seen the Niners.
What kind of a strategy is that?
That's your best. Just hope McCaffrey gets hurt.
Yeah, it's like, well, what are you going to do? Like cut the brakes on his car?
I mean, don't know. That's some hope. That's some hope here because obviously the 49ers have their number in a huge way and it seems to be getting worse, not better.
It's like, what do? You like find out, Brock Purdy is like living in an apartment with a roommate or something. You move in next door. You start drumming all late at night. Like you just have to disrupt something that the 49ers are doing.
The 49ers play the Eagles, and they better block a lot of guys. Is Brock Purdy going to be there for that divisional round playoff game against the Cowboys?
I don't know. Maybe Kyle Shanahan shouldn't block Hassan Reddick with a backup tight end. I have no idea.
If you don't know our show yet, there's 3 things.
Yes.
That I will guarantee. There's 2 that Maggie guarantees. Don't bet against Joe Burrow. Don't bet on the Atlanta Falcons. Yep. My 3rd is Sam Darnold's going to win a playoff game for the San Francisco 49ers. And Maggie thinks that Sam Darnold cannot do it.
No.
He's not a good quarterback.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think that
when you say 3
there's a
things
long
about
way to
our
go.
show, those are like laws like that are basically like if we had tablets of commandments, don't bet against Joe Burrow. Thou shalt not bet on the Atlanta Falcons in any way. Meanwhile, did you see Joe Burrow? Now they're saying he's almost back to 100%. Yeah. Can we get an investigation? I mean, I love Burrow. I love the Bengals. This is not personal. But we're just all taking this at face value. Somehow he just magically got better. Why? With a Theragun on the sideline and some stim?
So what are you saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking questions.
But by the way, say it was steroids or something. There's like a steroid that can fix a ruptured calf.
I don't know. It's the year 2023. I mean, there's got to be something for everything.
I feel like there could even be legal things for it. And it's a calf injury until Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers didn't blow out his Achilles, then we would have been like, get out there, Joe Burrow. We're just in that mindset now.
I just don't know how you get better when you keep playing. It's like,
What's the difference?
You don't think this is a little like, wow, he was really hurt and he couldn't move around, and then all of a sudden he shows up to Arizona and it's like, no, he's fine. And now he's 100%. It's like, no, he's good.
Well, yeah, calf injuries take what, 3 weeks?
Okay, but I think I was told this could be a nagging injury that might
And by the
be
way,
around him all year.
He was pretty good. There was a touch of limp last week.
I know,
it could
but
be
it looked
nagging.
a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, when did he hurt it? Like August 10th or something?
Yeah, like the third day of training camp.
I would. All that being said, like it's not done. I know he feels 100% now. Can't you see him like Mahomes last year? How Mahomes hurt himself in the divisional round.
Yeah.
Every other game after that, he hurt himself again, and he still gutted out a Super Bowl win.
Well, but that's because like you're so close to the prize, like you have to gut it out.
That's what's different.
I think so.
Well, also your ankle. I don't think Mahomes was risking long-term injury, where Joe Burrow does have that risk. Anyways, do you don't like my Cowboy strategy? Just be like, guys, get together, huddle around. We're gonna play our hardest, and we're just gonna hope that the Niners get hurt, and then we're going to the Super Bowl.
No, it's like, all right, I've instead of the X's and O's, we're not going to watch film today. I brought in this voodoo doll that we are going to poke holes now in the voodoo doll. And Christian McCaffrey, we hope that he's just going to go down in a heap.
That's as good as any strategy that Mike McCarthy's got in his playbook right now, Maggie.
We have a witch doctor here. Come in, shaman.
It's just watching that game on Sunday night. Micah Parsons, I know he said that the teams were close. I don't really feel that way, especially if it's on grass in San Francisco. Parsons seems to play a little better when he's on a fast track. This is a very bad situation.
No, the Cowboys are in trouble, but who's more to blame? Well, not in trouble. They're still going to win a lot of games, but who's to blame for the offense right now? Is it McCarthy? Is it Dak? Is it, as I think, Jerry Jones, the general manager, the personnel? Richard Sherman told you, CeeDee Lamb is not a true number one. He's cosplaying as a number one, and that's not going to be good enough here for the Dallas
And have you also seen Dalton Schultz not being there, their tight end, that they couldn't afford him? People are talking about that a lot, like, ooh, maybe they needed that guy.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Yes, sir.
One more thing you have to know about Maggie. Maggie does not believe that it takes any preparation to jump in on the offensive line.
You're going to get me in trouble again with the offensive line community.
There could also be a problem that they rotate new offensive line. Like their offensive line can't stay healthy.
Well, they finally had everyone back against the 49ers, and it didn't look as good.
Right, but it was their first game back.
Right.
Almost all of them are recovering from some form of injury.
Yeah.
So maybe that all gets going and they get some continuity. But didn't another guy get hurt? I feel like they cannot stay healthy on their O-line.
I know, but see, that's the thing about offensive line injuries. It's funny. For some teams, it's like you blame it for everything. Like the Giants right now. It's like, oh my gosh, Daniel Jones, he has 0.2 seconds. His offensive line stinks. Then you have other teams where they're losing 3 offensive lines. Like, no, they just made up for it. Like, it's cool. They just like run different things and try to masquerade and use, different offenses and call different plays to try to, duct tape and patch together the offense.
Right. There was this thought out there amongst NFL podcasters specifically that Tom Brady showed that you can win with anybody on the offensive line because he got rid of the ball so quickly. He was so smart pre-snap that he knew exactly where to go, and it gave so much protection to your offensive line.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. Now the Eagles have this amazing offensive line, and they're just mowing people down, and that's the way to win. So what's the answer here?
I just think it's convenient for some teams, where they lose one offensive lineman, it's like season's over, or you'll see like, in Green Bay, it's like Bakhtiari's gone. Was it Jenkins is gone? It's like, oh my gosh, it just has no time. Jordan Love has no time. And other teams just seem to navigate it a lot better, like the Miami Dolphins keep losing their left tackle, Teron Armstead, and Tua still is finding open receivers.
Yeah.
They're still having a robust run game. It's just, for some teams, it's debilitating, and for other teams, it's not.
Yeah. By the way, we get to watch tonight to see where Kansas City Chiefs linemen line up if they're 6 feet behind the line of scrimmage. They fixed some of that, but that line is a little weird too with Juwan Taylor. Yeah, so that should be fun.
We can't do that again. It's going to drive everybody in the country insane. He's offsides on every single play.
He's moved it up, but sometimes he sneaks back. Yeah, that's actually a tumultuous offensive line situation as well. So wait, can we just agree that we'll never figure out what an offensive line actually does here? Is that the theory?
No, listen, I know exactly what the offensive line does on every play. What I said was you can bring in a left tackle like Jason Peters, and it should only take him a couple weeks, like a week or two, I said, to learn the offense and to get acclimated.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I got Mark Schlereth
Got
like
a
blowing
lot
up my
of people.
inventions.
McAfee wasn't happy with this.
I know what's his name? Howie Longson, who plays offensive line.
Chris or
Yeah, it was not Chris, his brother. He's on that other sports show.
Former pitcher at Oregon. Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle was mad at me.
Oregon Duck.
A duck on duck. I mean, that can't be. I'm part of the family now. Mike in Oak Ridge sent me this sweet sweatshirt today. I got this awesome coffee mug.
Yeah. If Kyle knew that, he wouldn't be so mad at you for saying offensive linemen just jump in the line.
They
Don't even have to learn
push
the
guys
plays.
around. Jeff Schwartz is not happy with me. Another Oregon Duck.
Another Oregon Duck.
You don't want the offensive line community mad at you. Just take it from me. 855-212-4CBS. The only time people have been more mad at me is when I said that Nick Sirianni shouldn't have his kids up on the podium after games. People were mad at that. They did
Were they
not
really?
like that. Yeah. They said I was anti-kid. I'm like, well, first of all, I have a kid. So if anyone could have the leg to stand on to be anti-kid, it would be me.
Is it coaches, players? You don't like any of that?
Don't like it. Be on the field, be in the confetti, be in all that stuff. You don't have to take them to the post-game interview in front of the media. What is that about?
Yeah, I mean,
What are we getting out of that?
you're right. Because a kid there would distract him from spouting out cliche after cliche or just openly lying like they usually do at the press conference.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. When is the people have been most mad at you? Tom Brady as a system quarterback?
Probably. LaDainian Tomlinson just runs for 8 yards and falls down. That's a long story. Lots of system takes. I'll have to think about that. I'll come back with that one.
All right. Anyone else want to chime in? Tom, you've ever had people mad at you? Do you have the pitchforks out?
How many people are mad at me on a daily basis? Usually anytime I turn the mic on.
Bilotti?
Well, I do schedules around here, so you get some.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Can I yell at you?
Yes.
Yes.
That's face-to-face mad, too.
That is.
For the
or
most
text
part.
mad or text mad.
Ooh, mean emoji?
Or blunt honesty.
By the way, Maggie, Bilotti told me his schedule. It is cruel and unusual. Oh,
His
my
own
God.
personal schedule.
His own personal schedule. Dude, you do not sleep.
No.
He's got a newborn. Of course he's not sleeping.
He's got a newborn.
And he's got, what, a 2-year-old, 3-year-old?
A 3-year-old who's in
3-year-old
school.
newborn.
And you've been on this morning shift forever, and you still don't trust your alarm clock.
I don't. I have 3 alarms. I have to set them off at random times throughout the night. And I have been getting up at the hour before for the last maybe week and a half.
Wait a minute.
He's been
Last
losing
week and a half. That coincides perfectly from when Perloff and I took over.
I know.
Uh-oh.
You don't trust us. You don't think we're going to get up.
I want to be on time. I want to be not late. So it's probably anxiety in me.
Oh,
That
dude,
keeps me up.
relax. It's fine.
We're you don't have to
Just
worry
try
about
and show up by hour 3. You're fine.
us. Text us in when we have to read the BetterHelp.
That's right.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, got to turn the page to, our college coach getting very defensive. Does he have a right to be? You'll be the judge. Next, Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Today's Thursday Night Football preview is sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. The 4-1 Chiefs play host to Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, and the Denver Broncos. FanDuel pins the defending Super Bowl champions as 10.5-point favorites. Tight end Travis Kelce is listed as questionable with that ankle injury, but if Taylor's there, he's got to play, right? This means he's playing.
Oh, yeah. If Taylor Swift's in the building, he's got to play.
Like, she wouldn't come if he was injured. I know she's in town celebrating his birthday, is the gossip. Okay, I was reading Us Weekly online. So they had a chill,
as one does.
"quote unquote" chill night together.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But
so I think it was last week.
Yeah, so I think he's playing. To me, this, believe it or not, the most fascinating part is not Travis Kelce or Taylor Swift. You basically have an entire team who's either trying out to stay with the Broncos or trying out for other teams in the NFL. Because the Broncos,
good time to do it.
The Broncos get blown out, trade everybody on Monday. Or no, you have a 10-day window here.
Yep.
Just get rid of everybody. Everyone except Patrick Surtain and Russell Wilson because the cap hit's too big. Anybody else? Name a player on that team you would keep. There's not a single one. Not one. Go maybe Garrett Bowles.
Yeah, I mean, I want to keep maybe some of my offensive linemen. I also just signed a lot of guys in free agency. So
Get rid of them all.
I just flip them like a house. 855-212-4CBS. Got to get to Lincoln Riley here because we got a big game this weekend. USC travels to South Bend to take on Notre Dame. Here was Lincoln Riley. He claims that the USC defense is better than people realize.
This is a much improved unit. There's no question about it. Everybody in the media had their mind made up. All right, now I won't generalize. A lot of people in the media had their mind made up that the first second there was any adversity this year, saying, "Oh my God, should have done this, and they should have made this change, and blah blah blah." And it's not true. You're going to go through the whole year. You're going to have a tough game. You're going to have a tough quarter. Do you respond? Right? Do you show continued growth? And that's going to continue to be written throughout the entire year. But there's a lot of great things happening here, and we'll own the things that need to get better. But people need to make sure they're seeing the other side of it as well.
Okay, not going to disagree that they are improved, but that's a low bar. I mean, USC's defense a year ago was really bad. So they've made some improvements, Perloff, and now he wants to take victory laps. Back-to-back weeks, they've given up 41 points to their opponents.
Yeah, but who have they played, though? That's one of the reasons the defensive numbers are up, because they've had a weak schedule. I mean, Arizona State's awful. Stanford's awful. I guess Arizona's okay. Colorado gashed them, and they're probably not as good. So I don't even know that the defense is actually better. I know the numbers are better, but let's see. This week with the rain, I think they're going to get a pass. But I disagree. I mean, first of all, Lakey getting a little defensive here makes me wonder, how long is he going to be at USC? Because they seem to keep on running this problem. I don't think they're going all the way this year. I've seen way too much vulnerability. They've been their 2.5 point favorites. Underdogs this week. Feels like there's some L's there. I just wonder, is he going to be tempted to say, me and you, Caleb, let's go to the NFL?
And
do you think that'd be possible, or do you think this is really a long-term marriage?
Well, I mean, did it work out that great for Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray together?
Well, they were never really together in the first place. So.
No, but that was the marriage, right? It was we're going to bring this guy, and he's been in college for so long, and we're going to bring him to Arizona, and Kyler's there, and he'll get the best out of Kyler Murray.
But has there ever been a college coach and a quarterback who are a package?
I thought that Mike Sherman and Ryan Tannehill were together.
Yeah, that's the one.
But he didn't take over as the head coach of the Dolphins. I believe he went to be the offensive coordinator, right?
I
might be
you're
misremember
right.
that. D-Cell is on it. Here's the other thing. You're right. I think the difference that I've noticed a little bit with USC this year is Caleb Williams has just got to do a lot. And he's really good, so he can do all of that, but he's doing a ton of scrambling, keeping drives alive. And then when he does make any mistakes, USC hasn't really had to pay for them yet. We'll see if that changes.
Well,
Drew Pine threw for 3 touchdowns against this USC defense last year. I think that, Sam Hartman's going to have a little bit better shot.
Has Caleb Williams made a mistake yet this year, though?
I mean, he had the one bad interception against Colorado, but it didn't end up mattering.
That's his one interception on the year. He's 22 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Has it only been one? I thought he threw another one against Arizona. Anyway.
Caleb Williams is sick. I think this game is obvious, right? Notre Dame, I don't even throw a single. If it's raining like we expect, just get that 350-pound back, Audric Esme, just pound USC. It feels like this is a real chance for Notre Dame to jump back in here, being at home. I'm not so into USC. I think the 2 better teams are playing on Saturday. I think Washington, Oregon is the power.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome one. I mean,
that's going to be more entertaining football, right?
This is going to be the Bo Nix, Michael Penix, and then also, now that I got my sweet Oregon Ducks sweatshirt here that was sent to me by Mike in Oak Ridge, it was kind enough to send me some Duck swag. I mean, and that Oregon State offensive line, it's they can just lean on you too. So Oregon. Sorry, did I say Oregon State? Sorry. Yeah. Oregon offensive line can just lean on you. And so you can, because Bo Nix gets the ball out so quickly, you've got that as a weapon, and you can run the ball. I know the Washington defense has been good. I don't think this defense is as good as last year. So I'm feeling good about my Ducks. On the road, though, is going to be very tough.
What do we got to spread here? It's is it 3? Or 2.5. So Washington's a 2.5 point favorite. That is all. I just want to see both quarterbacks have 6 touchdowns in the NFL. Immediately, like any team that plays bad on Sunday, just start linking them to Penix and Knicks. Just start moving ahead here.
Pencil them in. Andrew Bogish is here with some headlines. Good morning, Bogue.
Hello again. So just 84 regular season wins, the lowest seed in the NL bracket, and now the Diamondbacks are perfect in the postseason. 5 games, 5 wins, a 3-game sweep of the Dodgers, thanks to last night's 4-2 final in Arizona. Some rookie season for Corbin Carroll.
We talked about it all year. I think a lot of people will say it is like all you got to do is get in, right? And we got in. And, just some truly magical things have happened so far.
Like hitting 4 solo homers in the 3rd inning off Lance Lynn last night, the first 4-homer frame in postseason history.
I mean, do we need the 4th one, Dave Roberts? I mean, pull Lance Lynn from the game. When the guy gets a redo because they thought the home run went out for Marte and it was like just foul, then a couple pitches later actually hit a no-doubter home run. Maybe that's the time to yank Lance Lynn.
P.S. My 9-year-old last night gave up his first over-the-fence home run. It was very jarring.
No.
Yeah, he was okay, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
it happens.
That's what I said. But he's in a fall league where there's a big age gap, so he's not even 10 yet, and this kid was 12 and was tall and strong.
Okay. Like mustache. That's what you always say.
Okay.
You draw the line when you're a 12-year-old with a mustache.
I'm going to be honest, Bogue. Excuses.
Yeah, well, that's what I said afterwards.
Ouch.
Was it one of those ones where it was such a long home run that the right fielder didn't even turn around to see where it landed?
Well, thankfully, the other 9-year-olds, I don't think, understand that trajectory yet. So the kid ran back to the fence, but it was staggering.
Was there a top parent there, as you would see in some of those games?
No, I don't remember any of their adults getting that. He was freaking out, the kid that hit it, and the other kids were. But I don't remember a parent doing any kind of flexing.
Wait, did the kid bat flip or anything when you say he was freaking out?
No, when he came back to the dugout, they were all going nuts. And all of a sudden I heard him yell, "I need the ball." And he went running down the side of the field.
This is a big deal.
Showboating.
Yeah.
I watched there.
I played baseball until 7th grade. I've never hit it over any fence.
Oh, I never did either.
That'd be the
fence
thrill of a
once.
lifetime. Oh, my God. That's one athletic achievement I would love to do. Hit a major league home run.
It's also the hardest thing to do in sports, that they say.
I'd also like to score a goal in the World Cup. Those are on my list.
Wait, so Bogish, well, that's good that your son didn't get that down on himself. That's a sign of a good athlete. You got to shake it off.
He was stunned that when it went over, and then kind of laughed about it. And then after the game, I'm like, dude, everyone gives him up. Even Jacob deGrom does. He goes, he's hurt all the time. I'm like, all right, that's fair.
Yeah.
Wait, did he continue to pitch okay, or was that it? Did he get pulled?
He was. Well, they're only pitching one. The coach decided everybody pitches an inning, so he pitched the first inning, and that was it.
Did he
bullpen game? Tough.
Did he brush off the next guy after the home run? That's what I want to know. You said that's when you throw it high and fast and inside.
So he did, but by accident. That's more of a lack of accuracy than the actual meant to throw over his head. But our coach was like, "Way to brush him back." I'm like, I don't think you should say that.
Did the coach say that? Oh my God!
Way to
great.
brush him back.
Oh, give him the chin music. I love it.
Oh my God! If that was my kid that he brushed back, I'd be waiting for that coach in the parking lot. Totally.
The Dodgers, meanwhile, losing last night, joined the 63 Yankees as the only 100-win teams to never even lead in a playoff series. Mookie Betts did not have a hit in 11 at-bats.
I felt like I prepared the right way, and I just did not execute anything. Got to tip your cap to them. They pitched the ball really great. We didn't score very many runs, but again, I didn't do anything to help the team.
Freddie Freeman, not much better, 1 for 10. Brave Bats quiet again, losing 10-2 on the road to fall into a 2-1 hole in their DS. Thankfully, Spencer Strider starts Game 4 tonight at 8:07 Eastern.
You know another way to phrase Braves bats are quiet? Phillies pitchers have outstanding night.
And the ALCS is complete after the Astros knocked out the Twins 3-2 in Game 4 at Target Field. 7 consecutive seasons now they'll play for the AL pennant, starting Sunday with the Rangers in Houston. Last night, Jose Abreu went deep for the 3rd time in 2 days. Jose Urquidy and 3 relievers combined for the 3-hitter. This doesn't feel like the night the Broncos will beat the Chiefs for the first time since September of 2015. The AFC West rivals meeting at Arrowhead on Thursday Night Football. KC has won 4 in a row since its opening night loss to the Lions. And yes, TMZ is reporting Taylor Swift will be there tonight. It is Giants and Bills in prime time on Sunday. That might have been ugly with Daniel Jones under center, but the New York QB did not practice yesterday, still sore after hurting his neck in last weekend's loss in Miami.
You know, the one thing I'm concerned about that from the Bills' perspective is Daboll knows Josh Allen better than anybody. Like, is that possible? I know the Giants are one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
But like you get to Allen, the whole thing falls apart.
Right. I think the Giant personnel then becomes the issue. That he might know what to do to slow Josh Allen down, but can his guys actually do it?
So, and if Jones is out, that's Tyrod Taylor, and woo.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
That's a huge upgrade for the Giants,
I was
right?
going to say, Tyrod Taylor is responsible for some really good memories.
No, I was going to say, if you're
before
Buffalo,
Josh Allen got there.
Yeah, if you're Buffalo, you definitely want to see Jones in this case, I would think.
Definitely. Oh,
But
man.
Taylor got...
Now I'm nervous.
Yeah, he is playing. He got nicked up. All right, go ahead. Sorry, Bo.
The Las Vegas Aces taking a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 WNBA Finals with a 104-76 rout of the Liberty in Vegas. Asia Wilson with 26 points and 15 boards. If he keeps playing like this, he might be able to upgrade from Olivia Rodrigo to Kardashian.
Drop past Donato to Bernard, bottom of the right circle. Tough angle shot. Save made, rebound. He scores! Connor Bernard's first National Hockey League goal. He did it on a wraparound. He beat Olmark to the near post, and Bedard slipped it in behind him for the first National Hockey League goal of his career. May it be the first of 1,000. It's 1-0 Hawks.
John Weideman on Chicago radio career.
Did you watch that one?
I did. Because I'm also a Bruins fan because I know the coach. He's awesome.
I thought you were a Chicago fan
I'm
yesterday.
both of my teams were playing. And
let alone the
Flyers
Flyers.
are good.
Yeah.
The Flyers are good. I got to tell you, but I was wrong about. It's not about Connor Bedard dating somebody. It's not about him winning Stanley Cup. ESPN being back in the mix. I talked to more friends who are not hockey fans who watch that opening game. I'm sorry, they are marketing this thing up, and it's totally working.
Nothing's going to be able to make up for. He just needs a celebrity girlfriend. Celebrity girlfriend, and we're all in. Look at the Taylor Swift. We're talking about it all the time.
Yeah, but if Taylor
Kelsey.
Swift, when Kim Kardashian dated Chris Humphries, all of a sudden the ratings didn't go up for Chris Humphries games because no one knew where he played or whatever. Where did he play? Was he Minnesota?
Nets.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think the ESPN is making NHL bring it back because everybody who's been watching Connor Bedard. Don't you guys? Have you guys noticed? You're a hockey guy, Bogus.
Yeah, I mean, people were pumped up the other night. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then last night was just a local broadcast. No, it was on TNT last night, right?
It was on TV. Yeah.
No, it was on TNT.
On TNT. I just want to track how long Perloff is actually watching every Blackhawks game.
No,
I don't
this
think you
is
can
random.
keep this up.
No. This was random. But I will follow Connor Bedard. Obviously, Bruins. I would hope that they could set the all-time win record and actually win a playoff series. There's a lot going on in hockey. I'm into it. By the way, when you're done, I have a hypothetical
I'm
question
done,
for you.
so fire away.
Okay, since you won't mention Bryce Harper, I just have to throw out this tweet real quick.
Okay.
And you guys have to answer this, and it's going to be impossible, and you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it at all. This is from my friend Peter Burns at ESPN. When we are talking about living up to the hype, is Bryce Harper top 3 in the modern era? Talking about players you heard a ton about coming up and absolutely lived up to the hype. Number 1, Tiger. Number 2, LeBron. Is Bryce Harper number 3?
Wow.
Find somebody who could top that. Maybe Connor Bedard will be that guy. Maybe Connor McDavid.
Well, Sidney Crosby is.
Yeah.
No, but is that when did he come in?
2003, 4, something like that.
I mean, and he was supposed to be the thing.
Yeah, and
he's got
was.
3 cups and points and other awards. He's the thing.
Ohtani.
Oh.
Good one.
That's a great
so
one.
good.
But
Although
you
it's
could
almost
argue
incomplete.
But Tiger and LeBron had high school hype. So maybe Ohtani coming over later in life makes it a different kind of situation.
There was a lot of hype, though. It's like, here's this guy, and he can pitch and hit, and he's like 6'5". And
But he was 25, though.
Yeah, but it was like, yes, it wasn't high school hype, but it was hype.
Like if Sebastian Telfair had ended up being the cover of Sports Illustrated and great player. Wait, Sidney Crosby, how old was he for his first SI cover, do you think?
That I don't know.
Sid the Kid, probably young.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a huge deal to get the number 1 pick that year because he was legendary.
Will you give Bryce Harper 4?
He's on the list 100%.
Mike Trout 4.
No, Trout wasn't even a high pick, was he?
Yeah, he wasn't.
But he was very highly regarded when he came up.
But when he got to the point of being a major leaguer, he was not drafted to be Mike Trout. I think is the point here. Like he was not. We were not following him in high school in New Jersey.
Yeah, like baseball players, like remember that guy Hunter Green, and like
Hunter
a
Green.
few baseball players have this hype coming in, and most of them do not work at all.
Yeah, Strasburg.
Strasburg was
another one.
he was huge. He kind of delivered. Did he deliver?
little bit.
Well, I mean, he won a World Series, but I think, and he just retired, right?
I'll tell you one who can do it now, Wembanyama.
Well, Wemby, I mean, there's so much hype. I was going to say, this is going to sound dated. There was so much hype around Andrew Wiggins. Do you guys not remember? Because he was like
he's
from
number
Canada,
one.
Maple Jordan.
But not like Wembanyama.
No,
What about
not
Andrew
like
Luck?
Zion.
Good.
Zion had a lot of hype. He's YouTube had come along in
But
his
it
high
hasn't
school.
panned out. Like, for the other guys we're talking about, it's definitely panned out. For Zion, it hasn't yet.
Yeah, I mean, Zion's probably better than Wiggins, though. Zion set the record. I think he had points and rebounds as a rookie. He was like 27 and 12.
Caleb Williams is going to be a big one, especially if he wins the Heisman second time.
Well, Arch is real. That's I think for this category, it's got to be high school hype, and Arch is at the top of the list.
We got a couple coming down the pike here between Arch. We'll see what Zion can do. Wembanyama. A couple guys TBD.
Yeah. We got some hype guys. Bryce Harper, though, it's doing it for a while now. That's rare. I mean, LeBron, by the way, so much hype, exceeded in many ways the hype.
Same with Tiger. But yes, LeBron, definitely.
Yeah, and if we're going to throw Tiger,
Yeah.
then Serena and Venus deserve to be on that
Oh, man,
list
there was
too.
so much hype around them. It was like Venus started, and they were like, wait a minute, but her younger sister's even better. And people are like, even better? Venus just won Wimbledon. It turns out Serena was better.
But was the hype before she won Wimbledon, or was the hype because she won Wimbledon?
No, the hype was they were these two
I
girls
saw the
playing in
movie.
Like
I saw the
Compton, you know.
Yeah, there was a lot of
the story.
attention, but they weren't like Tiger, where they were known like these people are going to win. Nobody knew they were going to win 40 Grand Slam titles.
But partly because he didn't let them play a lot. They were kind of this unknown, like secret commodity. Like they would only appear every once in a while and then kick butt.
You know who got a lot of hype? Maggie Gray at Nike camp. Or was it?
Victor Wembanyama?
What camp were you at? You were at one of those fancy camps, right?
Mm-hmm. I
The
was.
Bollettieri?
No, I went to Chris Everett's camp. Chrissy Everett.
Oh.
And I
Chris
did go
Everett.
to the Rick Massey camp. Rick Macy, the Serena Williams person.
In Florida?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
I was, no joke, I was in high school. I went to this fancy camp in Florida during my spring break from upstate New York. I was beaten straight up, head to head, by an 8-year-old. I was 17 at the time.
That's how you
8-year-old.
How good was he?
He was so good. He was an academy kid. He was like living there. Kid didn't miss.
Did he become a pro or anything?
Never heard from him again.
That's
Kicked my butt.
That was Andy Roddick.
Yeah, right. 855-212-4CBS. We'll get to Daily Deion. We'll do that next. Don't move. Deion, this one, by the way, we agree with this 100%. Deion's never been more on point than he was yesterday. We'll get to that. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Andrew Perloff with the new morning show right here on CBS Sports Radio. So thanks for getting up. Let's get to our shot of the day, shall we?
He shoots!
And the shot of the day is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos Tequila is brought to you by those who drink it. Well, today's shot of the day, a little snapshot of the show, came earlier. Our guest, MIKE GOLIC Jr., Notre Dame alum. Well, we got into a conversation about current Notre Dame quarterback Sam Hartman and his awesome hair.
It is distracting, though. Sam's done a really good job of cultivating a lot of follicle growth, and now it's gotten to a point where he's probably achieved, I'd say, the height of this look, and everyone else just has to kind of bask in the glory of it.
But how's the rain going to affect his hair for all those cutaway shots? You think it's going to be good?
Not the passing game so much, but how does it affect the hair?
I had a friend describe him as unnaturally wet to me during games, so I think it's only going to – it'll at least – take the off that. It'll be naturally wet. The rain will be the thing soaking it. But yes, it's kind of where he's been trending already.
Jeez, beautiful. Unnaturally wet is something I didn't think I'd hear at 7:15 in the morning. Sam Hartman, it is gorgeous. It's almost like, because he's got the hair and he's got the beard, and it's so perfectly fulled in. It's like grown man stuff. Like, it makes it look like he's about 38.
He is about 38. This is college football. How old do you think he is? Seriously, how old is he? 24? 25?
Something like that.
He's 24. So he's basically the same age as Justin Fields, older than Trey Lance. There you go. I'm kind of bummed about this because I wanted to see USC's defense be totally porous. I wanted a 52-49 game.
Well, we'll see. I mean, that's the forecast is for the rain. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like meteorologists have been a little bit off, like more than normal lately.
But it's funny, in my area, they haven't been able to predict rain. They're like, oh, there's a 40% chance of rain, and then it's like Noah's Ark territory.
Yeah, your area, like we don't all live here. In my neck of the woods.
Well, there was this famous rain in New York 2 weeks ago. You guys didn't get it at all. We got
we got a lot, but not as much.
We got 7.5 inches, the wettest day in New York City history, and they said partly cloudy, so it was something was off. But I feel like this could be rainy, and I like Notre Dame in this one. Because of the rain and just the running, this is going to be old school smash mouth football. And is USC built for that at all?
Well, listen, now that I am an Oregon Duck fan, I don't think I can actually root for USC. I think it's in the bylaws and I'm not allowed to do that. But for the purposes of this show, I will take USC. I am very worried about the defense, as everyone is. It's not just a media narrative here, Lincoln Riley. It is it's an actual thing. You give up tons of points.
Well, I think we can all celebrate the Pac-12 season. Just there should be a 30 for 30 on how awesome these teams. There's so many good players in the Pac-12. I can't remember this for years, and it's all going away.
Speaking of the Pac-12, let's hear from Deion Sanders.
Daily. Do you believe that? Deion. You believe that?
And this portion of the show is brought to you by Wesley Financial. Stuck in a timeshare and want out? Contact Wesley Financial Group now and get a free timeshare exit information kit at wesleyfinancialgroup.com. So here was Deion Sanders. They're in the Pac-12 for now. Colorado leaves for the Big 12 next year. Deion Sanders was talking about late kickoffs now that he's in the Pac-12.
Makes these 8 o'clock games. That's the dumbest thing ever.
I know. It's those fellas over the television
stupidest
side.
thing ever invented in life. Who wants to stay up to 8 o'clock for a darn game?
You wait till we do it.
What about the West Coast?
Yes.
I mean, the East Coast. Do they even care about ratings or anybody watching it?
I know.
You wait. What are we supposed to do with? I'm sorry, I'm venting. What are we supposed to do with the kids all day until 8 o'clock?
Yeah. Wait till we're on the road.
What are we supposed to do all day until 8 o'clock? So what you supposed to do in the hotel? What you supposed to do all day?
If when we have a game like that on the road, we get home at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank God we're not going to be in this conference.
Oh, and a shot there at the end is Deion on his weekly coaches show.
I agree with that.
Saying what everybody else is thinking. Now, listen, if you're on the West Coast, I get it. We love our West Coast audience. 8 o'clock kickoff, it's nice. You get a little, evening football. But unfortunately, for a lot of the country, 11 o'clock kickoff stinks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really need to see Stanford at all, so that's okay in this case. By the way, do you remember off the top of your head where Stanford's going next year? It's so
the
confusing.
ACC.
I
had to think. I had to dig deep for that.
Yeah, Stanford, I guess they're going to be a basketball school now.
Stanford and Cal.
Yeah, Stanford, Cal, and SMU.
Oh, right, SMU.
So I think I was wondering, how did Stanford get so bad? They used to be good when I was a kid, like 4 years ago. No, I don't know. But like Stanford's like the worst team in the conference. So I feel bad though when you do say it. Like we get to watch 8 o'clock football on the East Coast. Shouldn't the West Coast get an opportunity to do that?
They should, but I get where Deion's coming from. Like, what do you do with the kids all day sitting around in the hotel room? I've always wondered. It's like not everyone's a napper. You know?
But there's high school football plays at 6, 7, and 8 o'clock all the time.
Yeah, but you're home. You're at your house. This is like if you're at a hotel somewhere in Palo Alto.
I don't. Every sporting event starts at 7:30, 8 o'clock. I mean,
I know, but like when you're home. Isn't it a little different than when you're just hanging around a hotel?
What about college basketball?
Yeah, same. What do they do all day? Go through a walkthrough, play video games, scroll on the internet?
Study? What do they do all day at home? What do you think they're doing? What's the difference?
Nobody's studying.
First of all, it sounds awesome to spend a day in a hotel with your teammates on the road. Yeah, you cause trouble.
Yeah, that's exactly
You run around, you play with the vending machines.
Alarm, yeah.
Yeah, go in the pool. The kids love it. It's better than the...
it's not a weekend trip to Sesame Place. They're there to play a football game.
It's way better than a 10 a.m. start. Those are nuts.
I like it. Get up and go. Get up
yeah,
and
but
play.
if you're an actual football player and if you're an audience member who wants to get drunk, 10 a.m. is a lot of pressure.
All right. Well, that's not something we're going to solve today. We got to say goodbye. Thank you to Tom DeCelestino. Thank you to Pete Bellotti. Thank you to Andrew Kaplan, to Andrew Bogish. The Weedos and the coffee drinkers in the chat. You guys always bring it. The callers as well. Our guests, Mike Golic Jr. and Tom Pelissero. If you missed any part of the show, Maggie and Perloff podcast, Chef's Kiss. We'll see you tomorrow. Yep.